Some scenes may not be appropriate for younger audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Like, you laugh, but me getting sleepy is like, it's all downhill from there.
I know, it's so great when like Beth's out of the picture, I don't have to worry.
Isaac's still the question mark of shame on the interface.
Sleepy Beth isn't a question, she's a promise.
So last we left off, we were all gathered upon the wagon. We had traveled from Tian, headed southward towards the Strand-ish, mostly westward, but a little bit to the south. And coming upon a town, we did some shopping. We tried to pawn our goods off, try to acquire things like shoes, rope, especially a lot of rope, and a magical item, apparently, that was worth 1 copper piece to the pawn store owner that was persuaded by Ronir to allow Lillian to have. And let's just say, like, a month's time, it's just going to be, Lillian's just going to be Gollum.
My precious.
It's mine!
But essentially, you guys have been on the road for a few days now, heading westward towards the Strand, towards the spine of the world, to look for the location of the Hollow Fire Heart as depicted from the previous ruins of the monastery in Tian. So, a few days have passed. So far, the scenery which has emerged from a sort of a autumn forest has now transitioned to sort of a lowlands with rough mountains to your southern view. And the road, which was at one point hard-packed dirt, fairly paved, has now become rough and tumble. And the wagon, each time the wagon bumps along this road, you can feel every pebble, every bounce, every jostle of it. I want to ask, who is carting the wagon at this point? Who is driving it?
I'm usually driving.
All I gotta say, all the female members of the party in that, like, I hope you guys are wearing a bra, because it is not comfortable. You hit every single bump.
Just like you look back in the car and it's just like half the party's just it's like going down a set of stairs. You gotta
There's the image of 2 women, Victorian women, riding bikes down a cobbled pathway. I'll let your imagination wander. Anyway, you've been journeying for a few days now since you last left civilization in the form of a town. The weather is getting cold, and by this point along the journey, it is early morning. You've set off from the camp of which we had taken last night. I imagine Ronir spending a little bit of time just working on his card tricks, perfecting his gambling for the next encounter that he has to swindle some coin.
Yes.
Lillian.
After the last one went horribly awry.
Yep. Lillian sits by the edge of the wagon, attempting to read, but the road is so bumpy that it just gives her a migraine. Nisa, doing what she always does, manning the helm of the wagon, making sure that we stay on course and not fall off the side of this rickety, narrow pathway. And every now and then, Nisa, you find out you have to move your wagon to allow some native traders to pass you by, and it's this very awkward, like, one-way street sort of deal where you have to just scooch over and give right of way.
It's like the death road in Peru.
It's like any heavy populated death road. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know that. I know exactly. I've seen that. Ripper spending time cuddling Bishop. Bishop seems to enjoy your embrace. Although as big as you are, he does not seem to worry that you might at all harm or squish him, even by accident.
That's because I won't. He knows.
Exactly. And it's by this point in time where the hours go by a little bit. It's almost noon, but the weather has gone into the point where it's cold enough and also cloudy enough that the first thing of the year happens. The first piece, a small, small white flake falls upon your nose, Ripper. It blows into the wagon, and it just crests upon the tip of your nostrils. And this is the indication of the first snowfall of the year.
I would like to lick it.
It is gone when you lick it. Just disappear. At this
Don't-
point, yeah.
Don't tell me it's starting to snow, Ripper.
Oh, it is.
Oh, bugger. My lips are gonna my lips are gonna crack. Need to find some animal's fat in the next town stat.
Gross.
Hey, you don't know what that does to drow skin, man.
Sitting up front, like wrapped in like the bedroll blanket. It's like, at least you're in the cart.
Although it is only the first flake of snow that's fallen, it occurs to all of you in a few minutes' time that passes by that despite it being the first, it's going to be a bad one. It's going to be rough because the winds start to pick up as you head towards the west. And as you continue, you see that things are getting far more remote. The path is in sort of an open, more or less plain, and the structures that are far, the natural structures are very far and dispersed. There's not much in the way of cover. And you're going to be a bad ways off. You find yourselves if you don't seek shelter quickly.
Do you see any place we could park soon, Lisa? We don't want to get snowed in with all this snow.
With all this snow. I don't know, what do I see?
It's at this point you would see that at least a small quarter inch of snow has filled the landscape around you. You can make a perception check if you're trying to look for any landmarks and such.
Let's see. It's not a very good way to start the day. Let's see. Perception, that is 14.
Okay. With a 14, in terms of landmarks and structures you see around you, there is nothing to suggest any place that's habitable by natural means. You'll need to probably erect your own shelter or something. But that's not what perks your interest. Ahead of you, down the road, or what at least looks like it remains of the road, you see that there is another wagon passing you by, and it's approaching you at a steady pace. Given enough time, the individual manning their wagon passes by you, and just passes by you, but they halt their mule as they pass you slowly and comes to a clip-clop stop. The individual is appearing to be a Tianese man that seems to be heading back to Tien, and he says to you, passing by quickly, "Hey, you should not be heading westward. The storm's coming. I don't think you have much time." And as he sort of just gives you a friendly smile, you can see that he's missing several teeth.
No choice but to head west. We'll just have to try to weather the storm.
It is not only the storm you have to worry about. I made some mercantile business to the west. There are rumors, you see. There's something not quite right.
Is this sort of thing of the punching variety?
He kind of hesitates to sees the lizard man emerge. Forgive me, I've never seen dragon.
I lick more snow off my nose.
No, lizard folk.
I've heard of them, yes. If
That would be the perfect opportunity to hold Bishop up and be like, "This is my horde."
he says to you, there are rumors of spirits around this area. Some sort of sinister darkness. I do not know if you can punch spirits, or what have you.
I
But
can
it is-
try.
Yes, you can. But the storm is not the only thing you need to worry of.
Thanks for the warning. There's also probably going to be a lot of not quite right coming from the other direction. If you happen to see a lot of men in uniforms riding in formation heading in this general direction, you should stay very far away.
I will keep my head down, and I suggest you do the same, for the company of the blizzard is unforgiving. And he'll pass you by, bid you farewell and safe journeys. It's at that moment in the back of the wagon where you hear just a short rustle of parchment, and then, "Hey guys!" as Lillian cries out from the back. She says, "I think I see something on the map."
Something as in...
Just sprawling it over the sort of the milk crate that you were performing your card tricks on, Ronir. She points to a small scribble indication on this old map. And she says, "I think this used to be a fortress. I think it's not too far away. It's just a couple of miles. Maybe we could take shelter there. It's a little bit north of here."
Abandoned old buildings. What could possibly go wrong?
I wish I could
Oh,
use
better than
Amy's
freezing,
tiny
Ken.
hut. That would really save us a lot of trouble, but
Well, off we go then. Continuing
Isn't there some-
forward.
Isn't there supposed to be like? Ronnie is going to continue the discussion with Lillian. Isn't there supposed to be some kind of spell that basically lets you make your own private mansion?
oh yeah, it's Mordenkainen's manor, I think, or something along those lines. Very, very cool stuff. I've been in one just once, but it's
And
gonna
they
be
have
ages.
plush carpeting.
It's
Oh,
got
man.
whatever the mage wants, and it's gonna be like 20 years before I learn to cast that, but maybe we'll still be around then.
Yeah, that'd be a real dream. That'd be a real dream to have one of those. Just snap of your fingers, and you're able to immediately drop yourself into the lap of luxury. That'd be pretty nice.
I'd be happy with just it being slightly warmer.
By this point, the conversation goes on, and snow is building around you guys. There is a light dusting of snow, and essentially the tracks, or whatever makeshift road, which is just a few pebbles that lay the ground that have been dispersed by other modes of transportation, is all but gone. And there's a white film just about everywhere. And every now and then, when you hit this unseen pebble or rock on the road, it jostles snow off of the canvas of the wagon and kind of just drops on top of you, Nisa.
This is why I don't live in the north.
Now, Nisa, if you'd like to, you can make another perception check because you've been, looking around your surroundings.
Oh, that's just
If
about as...
anyone, if anyone else feels inclined to peek out of the wagon at any time, you can definitely make another perception check as
I
well.
will peek out of the wagon.
It's just the way
and
you
get-
said
I will
it.
as well. Give me a second.
Apparently
And
today
then
is the day of the
Snow in my
8s.
face.
Today is the day to roll 8s over and over again. I got another
roll?
14.
No,
right.
I rolled a 3, so I got a 6.
Okay.
Perception, right?
Yep.
Oh boy, here we go. The net one train is a rolling.
Oh, amazing.
We're
Okay.
all doing the, don't roll above 10 thing today.
I don't know, I'm guessing that Ronir and I, poke out our heads out of the car at the same time, and at that very moment, we hit another, huge pebble, and our heads just clunk together.
Boom.
Except the pebble bounces, it hits me square between the eyes. And I
As
take
well.
And then
One
snow
point.
falls off the top of the cart.
I take 1 point to shame damage.
Yep, 1 point of shame. That is unrecoverable.
Reduces hit point maximum until you forget about it, but then it comes back when you least expect it, like in the middle of the night, and it keeps you up.
Yes.
man.
Yes,
Yes.
you don't lose the hit point permanently, but you lose it again every single time you remember it.
Every single time your brain touches the hot memory stove.
I got a 14 again.
The commotion that is in the back of the wagon as Ronir and Ripper rub their heads in pain distracts you from the road, as kids in your minivan do.
I will turn this card around.
You're suburban. You've become a suburban mother now. It's at that moment when you turn your head back to the north, you notice that there is an individual standing in the middle of the street, or the road, not street. They turn towards you at that very moment as you are forced to halt your wagon. Make an animal handling check.
Oh man, it's always okay. I'm rolling a different d20. Forget this black d20.
That would be a good call there, man.
Animal handling. Here we go. Oh, that was better. This might actually be a reasonable roll. That's gonna be modified 20.
I'm disappointed. I don't think we're gonna be able to add vehicular manslaughter to our list.
to our list of growing crimes.
You pull taut on the reins of the oxen, and they come to a jarring halt, sending Ronir and Ripper in embrace, tumbling to the front of the wagon.
Oh,
In
you're nice and warm. I cuddle Ronir.
You are grappled and restrained.
Joy.
I just, as the rest of the snow gets launched off the top of this thing like a car that didn't scrape itself and someone slams the brakes. Just looking with annoyance at whoever is standing in the middle of the road here.
Isaac, would you be so kind to describe your character?
From what you see at first, this person doesn't look like they're anything special, as they currently have a cloak pulled around them and a hood pulled up. But from underneath the shadows of the hood, you can see a pointed nose and a chin with what appears to be almost like a nicely trimmed but pointed end of a mustache. The stranger chuckles a little bit at this scene as he says, I was going to ask for a bit of help getting out of this weather, but, well, from the looks of it, it seems you all might be in just as much trouble as I am. He reaches up and would offer the cloak, showing hair, like short cropped hair that has been, swept back. It seems to be black with a little bit of gray along the sides. The lines on the man's face make it apparent that he is definitely older. He's definitely older. His gaunt features, though, frame a gentle smile, and you can see by the tips of his ears that this man is of elfin descent. He takes the time to quickly take the glasses off of his face and wipe them along the hem of his robe before placing them back on his face.
Yes, I'm not sure we can help you get out of the weather since we're going deeper into it for some ungodly reason.
What about the fortress?
Looks back, glares. Ah, so you're headed to the fortress as well? Wonderful. Sorry?
You know this particular fortress, old man?
Old man. I don't think I'm that much older than you are, son, but we'll go with that for now. Perhaps you should call me Pradith instead. It is my name, after all.
You're old enough to be my dad, Pops.
I don't know.
Perhaps old
Judging
enough
by...
for you- perhaps old enough for me to take you over my knee and spunk you.
Careful, he might like that.
Do you have to go out shaming me for every single comment I make?
It's not shame, I don't know. If I didn't pick on you, what else would I
It was
do?
quite amusing, if nothing else. But to answer your question, only vaguely. I was walking around the area trying to look for my partner. We got separated on a job, and well, he's quite dear to me, and I would very much like to see him again. I just so happened to come across a teenage gentleman about dark spirits and unfathomable evil, and I figured, well, sounds right up my alley.
Oh, so you're supposed to be one of those adventuring types.
What would that
I
call us
wouldn't
then?
call it
Richard?
adventuring so much as making ends meet.
See,
What
he's,
about the
in the
lot of
exact,
you?
he's exactly in the same boat as us.
I would call us people that get absorbed into things that are really far above us.
Well,
The
that's
dead-
how I got started in this business, so you never know.
Currently, they're far behind us, not really on top.
Not the point. Yeah, either way, we can't just sit around and talk. We have to keep moving to stay ahead of what we're trying to stay ahead of.
And warm.
That too.
Would it be alright if I tagged along with a lot of you? I promise I'll have my uses if that's what you need.
We have room in the cart.
Might be a bit cramped back there, but I'm sure someone can move over.
Yeah, let me just pick up my carts.
He smiles as he begins stepping up into the cart. Thank you so much.
I yoink him further into the cart.
Oh god! When you yank me in, is it into like a hug or just pulling me in?
Yes.
Both.
As I land in the cart, all Nisa hears from inside is, "My back."
That's
And as you're
I would like to mention at this point, Ripper hasn't let go of me, so he's hugging both me and Ripper. Me and Parith?
There in the middle.
Parith?
Pradith,
Pradith.
I'll put it in
As-
for y'all.
as you're being embraced, your head lies over top of Ripper's shoulder, and Lillian just introduces herself. Hi, my name's Lillian.
Hello, young one. Oh, I quite like your glasses. As he, tries to squeeze his hand out to fix his own on his nose.
Oh, she blushes with minor action. So, the road ahead of you that leads to the fortress that is indicated just barely on the map, the pathway is sparse of trees. There is a large open field around you that then leads gradually up about a hill. And at the base of this hill, there is a walled-off fort-like structure, or at least the remnants of it. The walls are in bits of shamble, and it seems to almost be a fort that's built at the base of a very small mountain. This is the fortress of Markabat Ankle. The road that leads up to it is very small, narrow, and windy.
What are the odds this fortress is actually unoccupied?
Yeah, slim to none.
That's what I figured.
So, taking your cart up the winding road, the fortress seems to be about probably close to 70 feet in diameter when you look at it across. And there's a front gate that this winding path takes you up to all the way. Do you want to drive straight in, or would you like to halt?
Probably halt and get like a look at it first, because the last time we charged the wagon into something, everything got lit on fire.
Everything
I don't
is
know
very
what
much
you're talking about.
everything is very much lit on fire.
Okay. So you come. How far do you want to stop from it, Nisa?
What do you guys think? Like,
50 feet.
what'd you say? 50?
50 feet.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay. So 50
Sorry, what did I miss? My internet died for like a few seconds.
Oh, is that why you're so quiet?
Yeah.
We're trying to parallel park the cart. Hold on.
Yes.
Praedith looks at the back of the car. You're good! You're good! You're good!
50 feet from the walls or 50 feet from the entrance itself?
I guess the entrance.
Okay. There is, at this point, a small flurry that surrounds the air around you guys. Light winds. The winds don't seem to be as intense around the walls of the fort, but the snow is thick in clusters and clumps as it falls upon you guys.
We need to make sure it's actually safe in the entrance and pull the oxen in.
I'll go scout out the area ahead, and I'll let anyone know if we have visitors.
I would like to go with him.
Okay. So, roll 20. I'm dropping you guys off the map.
Okay.
I will reveal said areas.
Fallen out of bounds.
I will reveal said,
Ooh.
and it's going to be. Yeah,
Can you ping us over there? Wherever
I
the
can.
over there is.
I'll do so. I'll give you guys the full view of the map. I'm not sure if that just screwed up the move ping because I did it at the bottom.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see it.
So, the entrance takes you, the road takes you straight up to the entrance, and upon the walls, which are about 30 feet in height, most of the ways, but some parts are ruined, you see that the fortress is mostly circular, and the northern side of it is built into the side of a very small hill-like mountain. The battlements of the fort's walls seem to be more decorative now than it does functional for the purposes of defense. And if you were to look upon the walls, you would find that it seems that the architecture has been added on top of an existing fort, as if it kind of clashes in sort of a more new appearance compared to the walls themselves. So the walls, the battlements seem to have been converted from an actual battlement with defensive purposes into one of maybe a cloister.
Oh, clearly someone didn't hire an interior decorator.
Or like somebody saw empty shelter and decided to make use of it. Perhaps we are not so alone here after all.
I don't know. I think I'd prefer it be just us, because it seems to be that when we get around other people, they tend to try to kill us. There seems to be a theme.
Are you afraid that I'm going to try to kill you?
He ain't started it yet. I guess we're okay.
Fair point.
All right. The entrance is over yonder, and there's two massive wooden doors that remain closed at the moment.
Is there anything to like knock on the door? Like, is there a knocker on the door or anything like
Not
that?
a knocker, but they have those huge metallic loop handles that if you slam it down on a door, it would suffice as a knocker.
All right. So since it's Rainier and I going up, right?
Yes.
Alrighty. I guess I'll take a look at him before grabbing one of those circular rings and knocking it against the door.
When you pick up the rings, you notice that the paint, or what remains of the paint, very few, as the wood is also splintered. You can see rust kind of just break off as you lift it for almost like a very long time. How many times do you knock? Once, twice, several?
I'll knock like 3 times with it, and then proceed to wipe my hand quickly on my cloak, as the string is probably quite dirty and wet with the snow.
Yes. You knock once, and almost wanting to, the metallic handle almost parts way from the wood itself. It's that old. But it holds on just barely as it falls just an inch or two at an angle, lowering itself next to its brethren. And you hear the sounds of skittering coming from beyond the door. Multiple small foot sounds, dashing over snow and such.
Take another look at my new companion. Did you hear that?
Yes, the scurries of pitter-patter, and I don't think that anyone is expecting a child anytime soon.
I gently pull aside part of my cloak, revealing a small rapier sheathed in a thin black sheath. Can you fight?
Can I fight? Ronier goes ahead and draws both of his rapiers and flips them forward to go ahead and prepare himself. More than ready when you are.
I see in the distance I see Ronir like pulling out his weapons, and I just kind of like tap Ripper. Ripper.
Ripper turns around.
Point at Ronir with weapons drawn.
I'll nod at Veneer and gently put my hand against the door. Is it open at all? Like if I give it a small push, does
If
it
you
budge?
give it a small push, the only resistance that you'll find is the age of rust that has lingered upon the hinges, and the paint that breaks off in the middle creases of the door. But it gives way.
All right. With a quick gesture to Rainier, basically to follow behind me, I'll put my hand on my sword and slowly push open the door.
When you slowly push open the door, the first thing that you are met with are 3 arrows that land around the door. The door had provided you enough cover that you were not hit and hindered by the arrows, but small creatures dart and dash around the courtyard of the fort, and they are plucking arrows as they move from cover to cover.
When Nisa points out that there are weapons being drawn, I'm going to very calmly take Bishop and put Bishop in Nisa's lap, and then I will explode out of the back of the cart and start running towards the door.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys all 1 move actions. Opening the door and Ronir, you've already done your move actions, but I'm going to give Nisa and Ripper a move action to catch up a little bit.
Sure.
All right.
So the 2 of us are probably hiding behind the door to avoid another onslaught of arrows.
Yes.
I have to like hand Bishop to Lillian. Just watch the cart. There seems to be something going on up there.
Okay. So Ronir, actually everybody roll initiative, and you can place your tokens, Ripper and Nisa, to your full movement speed if you want to get closer.
Are you kidding me? Okay, this dice is going to dice jail.
Let's see my initiative roll. Oh god, that's terrible.
I got another 1.
I didn't roll a 1, but it was damn close.
I mean, 2 1s back to back. I had better get something good for my birthday coming up.
Okay,
From the
so
dice.
if this is where we were, then... Oh my god. Snap, damn it. I'm somewhere in this general vicinity, I guess.
I suggest...
Jiming, I don't have control over my token.
Oh yes, my apologies. I suggest counting squares might be easier in this case for the map, for this specific map style at least. So if you're 30, you're going 6 squares, and so
I think I come up with. No. Nisa, you want to re-roll? Or what's your dex?
My dex is +2.
Okay, yeah, I thought I had +3. Okay.
Matching at the bottom of the initiative order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have fun. Have fun there, Isaac. We'll be all right behind you.
This is where I get to make a comment about age before beauty, right?
Yeah.
Apparently
Right.
Lillian's up there. How is the one person who's not involved prepared?
Because we're busy trying to pass Bishop around.
So, what you see from the crack that you had made in the door, you can see sort of very clearly small arrows. These arrows are significantly smaller, perhaps the size arrows that a halfling might use, and they have black fletching upon them, and they are now 3 of them stand in the old wood. You would start to see that there are creatures within the area, some taking cover behind the rock, some taking cover behind the stable over here. 3 of them gathered around the fire in the middle of the courtyard, one behind a well, and a few upon the remains of battlements up top of this fort.
Oh man. So
They-
many.
They clearly look like inhabitants that have claimed this area temporarily, but soon to be relieved they are goblins. Praetor, you know that for certain.
All right, I'll shout to the rest of the party. Goblins ahead! And I'll also tell them like how many there are as well.
9 that you can clearly see from your vantage point.
All right, yeah. So I'll just let them know, 9 within my range of vision. And from the crack in the door. So this one over here is not undercover or anything like that, right?
He is fully line of sight.
All right. So with one hand on my rapier, I use my other hand to whip out a small contraption, which eventually unloads into a hand crossbow before firing a bolt at him.
Mhm.
That is 12 to hit.
12 to hit
Mhm.
is deflected off its small goblin buckler, and it just cackles.
All right, as the bolt clings off of his buckler, I take cover behind the door again, reloading the next bolt. My lord, these things are ugly.
Somewhere in the back, in the distance, next to the oxen, you pull one drift, and they give you the wagon. Okay, let's have this happen. It is the goblin's turn. Praedyth, you are in 3/4 cover, or would you say you take full cover?
I'll take full cover, and I'm just using my movement to get in and out.
Awesome. All right. Nothing happens for the goblins per se. It is Ripper's turn.
Oh man. I'm gonna keep heading towards a party. It's 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 5 blocks of my movement. Is the door ajar still, or did we close it?
It is still slightly ajar.
Alright, am I able to see anything inside?
You can see the goblins moving and shuffling about as they're mobilizing.
Okay. I don't know if there's room up here with everyone up here, but I want to be between Ronir and new person, and I would like to ready an action to knock down any goblins that try to come up to the door
Okay.
and knock them prone.
All right. Ronir.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see. problem is I'm afraid of getting ambushed, but at this point, that's not going to be too much of an issue.
The issue is the assload of ready actions if you open that door.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm afraid of. You know what? I'm going to adjust myself. Can I see that particular goblin from where I'm standing?
Can you indicate which one?
Yeah, I just clicked on it.
Okay. Usually arrows are they're really snappy and they're faster.
Okay.
I try to use those, but if you push the door wider, you would be able to see it. But at the current time, without pushing the door, not really.
Okay. What if I moved around to where Ripper and Praetoreth are? Would I be able to see him moving over?
Yeah, you probably would be able to. It's a little bit of a hard shot because you have to be firing through several things to do.
Oh no,
so,
I'm not firing through people.
Okay, yeah, you'd be able to see him. Absolutely.
Okay, let me see. Just need to make sure that I have long enough range, and I have to step forward. Curse you, 30. No, wait. Nope, I got 60 feet. Okay, I can do it.
Awesome.
I go ahead and I take out. I go ahead and I start whispering softly in the Drow language, as I cast Dissonant Whispers at first level on that particular goblin.
Nope. It fails.
Sorry?
It failed.
fails.
It failed to save.
Oh, it failed to save. Okay. I mean, okay. I thought it was like the spell failed.
Yes.
Okay. That's why I had to check. Okay. I mean, I've already been on a bad roll today. I wouldn't be surprised from that point. Okay, so that is 10 points of psychic damage.
All right, 10 points of psychic damage.
As the haunting melody plays in the goblin's ears.
The goblin feigns a death in the way that it clutches its head and heart at the same time, and it collapses over the boulder sprawled on top. It's dead. Deceased.
All right. I go ahead and no, I'm not done yet. I have bonus action.
Oh yeah. All right.
I go ahead and I rub Ripper's back supportively. All right, big guy. This is your
caress
moment.
gently.
This is what you've been waiting for. Go get him! As I give
I
Ripper
am so
bardic inspiration.
inspired right now.
All right, Asa.
Okay. Let's see. Diagonals are hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can get up there with you guys. I will use... Since I have this nice turn where I can't really do much, I will use this time to use, I'll use, Symbiotic Entity and Shillelagh, as I'll get my, usual unwieldy weapon out, and sort of build up this, chitinous armor around myself, as I'll say... Well, Ripper, things are about to get bloody.
All right. Praetor.
Alrighty. Do I? No, it's not going to reach. Dang it. Okay. Peeking from around the door, I still have sight. Do I still have sight on this guy, or is there something obscuring sight?
There is currently a Ripper in the way.
Okay, I will ready an action that as soon as Ripper either leaves that area or as soon as I can get line of sight, I'm going to fire another hand crossbow bolt at the first monster I can see within sight that is not in cover.
You have the option right now if you really wanted to open the door fully.
Pass. For now.
Okay. we're gonna skip to the goblins, and you hear them shuffling once more. And Ripper, it's just like a lizard eye through like a slit of a door, and you see them shuffling and moving around, but they haven't done anything yet. Ripper, we go to you live.
Why do I feel like this is about to turn into like the Matrix, where like we just go bursting in the door and there's just like arrows flying everywhere?
Yes, that's basically what it would end up being.
I need to do this. Let's see. I am going to just sort of push gently new friend aside into cover behind the door. I'm going to take the dodge action, and then I'm gonna like kick the other side of the door open and go running in. Let's see, 1, 2. I'll just stay here for now. I have 2 squares of my movement. I'm going in with the dodge action.
Okay. As you go into the dodge action, you have suspected this, and all of the arrows, they blot out the sun and come crashing down towards you. So, at disadvantage, your AC being what?
14.
14. Okay, one's going to hit. Keep track for me how many hit.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Miss. 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 Wow. Miss. And that misses as well.
So just one.
So only the one.
One.
Oh, thank
Just the one arrow hits you, strikes you for 5 points of piercing damage as it lodges itself into your collarbone.
I flick it out like a toothpick. And
All
then,
right.
now that I've got a better view of what's going on in here, I assume the goblin positions are accurate at this
They
point.
are, indeed.
All right, and he's upstairs on the
Mhm.
battlements.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is my full movement, and I'm gonna use my bonus action for Hungry Jaws, and I'm gonna bite him.
Okay. So it be.
Okay, it's 17 to hit.
Yep, that'll do it.
That should be 6 points of piercing damage.
All right. He's very badly off. You essentially render an arm off and into your mouth. And he's bleeding profusely, this goblin in front of you. But he's not dead yet. And he screams. Ronan.
With Ripper out of the way, does that also activate my ready to action?
Yes, the doors are burst right wide open because, yeah, you can see everything now. Good call.
So yeah, I fire a bolt on this fellow over here.
All right.
Does that hit with a 13?
A 13 does not.
Dang it. Come on, crossbow, we talked about this.
You see that the reason you're having trouble right now hitting it is that these two goblins are fighting for cover behind the well, and they're just shoving each other back and forward.
While they're fighting, one of them has like a shield on his back, and it just so happens to hit the shield.
Yes, exactly. So your ready action goes off and misses, unfortunately, Ronir.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna rush and move into cover where the goblin I just laughed to death was.
Okay. You have half
And then
cover.
I'm going to go ahead and target. Okay, I'm going to target this fellow over here with another dissonant whispers.
Is that wisdom?
Yes, it is.
7.
Yeah, that's gonna fail. So he's gonna take the full force of 8 points of psychic damage.
Okay. He takes the psychic damage and he Wilhelm screams off as he tumbles forward and falls down from the battlement.
Ah!
Exactly. Okay, Rodeo. Anything else?
Let me see. I think that's all I can do for the moment then.
Mm-hmm. Nisa.
I'm going to come into here, which is my full movement. Let's see, who do I want to go at? Who's in range? I guess any of the... Okay, those guys are out of range. It's got to be one of these ones. Those guys are behind cover. I can see these two, though. Right? These guys aren't behind cover. I can see them.
This one, the one to your most left, is behind half cover because of the cloistered wall. The other one is not.
But I could still see him if I was gonna cast like a spell at it.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, I will try something. Let's just try something for fun because I'd never used these spells. I'm going to look at this one up here, and we're gonna cast yeah, what the hell? We're gonna cast blindness, deafness on it. We're gonna take away its eyesight. It has to make a Constitution saving throw.
20.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it succeeds. Okay, I wasted my turn.
It's not even looking at you, and that's why it worked. For it, at least. Praedyth.
Alrighty. I'm going to finally make my way in, standing here beside Rainier. And I can definitely see this fellow, right?
Yes.
Oh my card.
Yes,
Hey.
half cover, but you can't see it.
Okay, with my free hand that was resting on the sword, I bring it up and aim at this goblin and cast an Eldritch Blast at him.
All right.
16 on the first beam, and 18 on the second one.
Both are good.
Yes. Okay. That will deal 14 points of damage total.
Okay, it dies.
Huzzah!
Its head was showing, and then the head caught a blast to the face. All right. At this point, we're going to have the goblins go. The goblins attack Ripper, the first one in front of it, with its arm just waving, trying to like recover its lost blood. It's going to take a short sword and it's going to stab you in the foot. This is a 9 to hit, which I'm sure it doesn't.
Nope.
Nope. The goblins start to come to aid of its friends. 2 more goblins assail you, Ripper, and you're not reckless, so these 2 will make attacks at regular. It's going to be at 8, and a 14. 14 will hit, dealing to you 7 points of piercing damage to you, Ripper.
All right.
The 2 goblins fighting for position at the well is going to shoot one at Ronir, because it can't hit Praedyth. It's 10 to hit.
That...
No, that's gonna miss.
Oh, sorry, I heard my name. Sorry.
That will miss even without the half cover bonus.
Okay, Nista runs out towards the open. She is going to be targeted by 2 goblins, both on the one by the well, one by the battlements. 13 to hit on the first, and 8 the second.
Neither one of those will hit.
Okay, arrows are bouncing around you guys as you're being showered by arrows, and this goblin is going to run towards you, Nisa, and this one's going to run towards you, Ronir, in a charge. Ripper.
Okay. I need to do this.
Mhm.
But actually, I need to ask first. Is this a campfire?
That is indeed a campfire.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to rage, and I want to 300 kick him into the campfire.
All right. Do it.
Okay. That is.
We'll use athletics for shove.
Yeah.
And it'll try to save against that. 12.
16.
It is kicked into the fire. sends back. It's lit on fire. Roll d6 of fire damage. And it's lit on fire. Will take continual fire damage unless it's put itself out.
It is 4 points of extra crispy.
All right, 4 points. It is bloodied from that. What else would you like to do, if anything?
I think I'm just gonna like shift myself forward, just with a little bit of movement.
All right. In that case, we'll go to Ronir. One goblin in front of you, one in front of Nisa. Praedyth stands behind you.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and attack the
Okay.
rapier to defensive flourish. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear any confirmation. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
These
I could have used my reaction shit.
rolls,
I'm so bad at
let's
that.
see. With my bonus, that comes out to a 12 and a 14 respectively.
The 14 will still not hit, unfortunately. And Matt, what's the reaction for?
Basically,
No.
because I have symbiotic entity up. If something on its turn walks within 10 feet of me, I can react to. It just takes damage for being in my presence.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll damage?
Damn it! I dropped the dice. Actually, that's okay. It takes 4 points of necrotic damage.
All right. The one in front of you takes 4 points, and it is bloodied when the symbiote smacks it out of your body.
All right. On my turn still.
Yep.
Even though defensive flourishing did not connect with anything, I can still get the +6 to my AC,
Okay.
and for attacking I get +10 to my movement. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to move, and draw attack cover away from me, incurring two opportunity attacks as I run away from this guy and walk through this guy's path.
All right. Both of them will use a reaction to do so, seizing the opportunity. Your AC now is at what?
20, 25,
A lot.
35, 40.
I can-
end up about here.
I can barely hear Daniel. I think
Isaac's given him
22.
the bad internet. Okay.
Infected him.
19 is the highest that they roll, so both of them miss as you swirl past.
I lost.
Oh, did we lose him?
Losing
I,
in progress.
who are we losing?
We're losing you.
Surprise!
Oh, no.
It's not me.
I don't know why.
Wait, I can. We can hear you again.
Yeah,
Hello?
now you're good. So both of them miss as you run past them, dancing gracefully. Making
Okay,
your
I
parry.
did get that, so
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
good.
You are untouched. And at this point, we go to Nisa again. Your symbiote saving you.
Okay, so this thing is over here. I guess we'll just get rid of this thing in front of me with booming blade. That is going to be. Oop, that was the wrong. That's not the right window. What is my thing to hit? +6, so 18 to hit.
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay, so I need to roll a d8. God, it feels like it's been a minute since I actually did combat. It really hasn't been that long. Let's see, that's a 13. So I didn't use my scythe at all for a while.
It's long for what we're used to.
4, 5, 6. So 7 points of slashing damage.
Obliterates the goblin in front of you, cleaved in two.
Okay, so that's that. I don't really have any bonus actions to do right now, but I will. Let's see. Ripper seems to be doing. Ripper is doing Ripper things over there, so I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can go up here and say hi to this, but that's the end of my turn.
All right. Doing so, we go to Praedyth, top of the round.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward, and I'm gonna make a stab on this guy.
All right, the last one by the boulder.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my rapier for that. That will be a 12 on the first one, and 18 on the second one.
12 raising the buckler. It bounces off of it. The second one, the force blows back its buckler, getting right at it.
Alright, so the second one hits. And, ooh, full 8, so that will be 12 points of damage.
It dies.
Alright. I get it right through the throat and watch as it gurgles on its own blood before gently, slowly pulling the thin blade out from its neck. And with a quick flourish, flick its blood off the blade.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we go to the goblin's turn. Ripper, the two that surround you are going to... They're going to try to stab you. It's going to be a 21 and an 18.
Both hit.
2 attacks succeed. You take 8 points total. No, 9 points total. My apologies. 9 points total as they stab you with their short sword. The one without the arm is now going to try to flee from you into the stable.
I attack.
No. As a bonus action to
Oh,
disengage for free. Because they are goblins and goblins can do that.
Yeah, he almost forgot to declare that.
Oh, yeah, because the DM is garbage, right? The one that's on fire is going to take another d6
No,
of
you're
fire
not
damage. Go ahead
garbage.
and roll that.
4 points of fire damage.
He burns to a crisp as he walks out of the fire and just collapses to the ground in front of you. And the goblin in front of Nisa is going to swing at her. Misses, uses a bonus action to disengage from you, Nisa. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And
Yes,
gets to
move
the
right-
stairs and looks down the stairs to see Ronia running. At that point, Ripper Bishop
that
runs
was
up.
their turn, wasn't it?
That was their turn, yeah.
Oh, so because it was the start of his turn, he has the one that just ran from me has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, if it runs 14.
Okay, it saves. Nothing happens.
Ripper, Bishop does the marmot dance and gives you advantage against the goblin in front of you.
Oh man, I like it. I'm going to attack the goblin that is tripping over a marmot. Yeah, that's a 16 on the die. That's probably gonna hit.
Indeed.
So that's gonna be... Oh man, max damage. That's what I'd like to see. What's my modifier on that? It's been a while.
4.
Yeah, that's gonna be 18 points of damage as I just slam my fist straight down on this goblin, the top of the goblin's head, and its spine just crumples like a slinky.
There's just like green ichor in the white snow. Now, that's all that's left.
And then I'm gonna take a step forward and use my bonus action to punch this guy.
Alright.
I believe it's a 16 to hit.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
It has no shield either.
That will do... Let's see... 5 plus 2, 7 points of damage.
This one is kicked into the hay and it's dead. Alright. Ronir, there is all but
Did I
one
use the rest
goblin.
of My movement.
Yes. There's all but one goblin left at the top of the stairs. I think Daniel's struggling.
Yes. I shall go up to him, and I'm going to go ahead and stab him twice.
Okay.
Fine. Both hit?
Was that?
You both hit?
I did not hear anything you said.
You both hit?
You are still lagging.
Like, what?
15 and a 21.
Yeah, both hit.
21. Well, at least one of them was an 8. Okay, so that's 8, 9, plus... plus 3 and 3, so 15 points of piercing damage.
This goblin dies. As it tries to scream and run, it does not even stand a chance.
Huzzah.
Okay, you guys are now
He is
out of
the
initiative
dead.
for the moment.
All right. Praedyth resheathes his sword before going back for the hand crossbow. He, for a moment, dropped into the sand, or snow, I guess. And
There is sand now.
Sand now, sand and snow. Oh god, that's such a bad combination. As he, kind of just wipes off, the dirt and sand and snow before putting that away as well. Walks up to the rest of the party. You don't suppose that were the evil spirits that the man was talking about? And so that was, well, wildly inaccurate and somewhat disappointing.
A bit too fleshy for that.
Right.
Sorry, I got drug away.
I'm gonna go over and start roasting my goblin arm over the campfire.
I just sort of look at the scene. Well, I sort of overestimated that, I think.
In what way?
Well, given well, you wouldn't know, but the things have been involved in lately, I was expecting that to be more difficult.
Well, perhaps taking it easy for a little bit will be for your benefit. Can't imagine having things being difficult all the time is enjoyable.
I like how the new person is just calmly talking to it during this scene of, one party member is, roasting an arm, one person is, in some really strange form that,
Right.
Narrows his, everyone narrows their eyes at him. It's like, you've seen some shit, huh?
The look, the glance, the
He
nod.
knows. He knows.
Looks at the arm roasting and it's licks his lip, looks back at you. Sorry, what were you saying?
The campfire is, much to your findings, a warm welcome and a bit of a relief. It seems that this fort is quite run down, definitely has not been used in centuries' time. It appears that the goblins themselves were actually quite new to this place. They had just gathered themselves and found this place and had just come in to make it their habitat. You see that there is a small set of logs being rendered into kindling with an axe adjacent to the campfire. The stable, which is really just a small roof of a few logs that could barely hold itself together, could provide decent shelter for your animals, but not really much in the way of room in addition to yourselves. There is, however, as you look around your surroundings to your north, there is a set of stairs of which you can walk up once more, Ronir, to find yourself a large door that leads into the mountain itself. There also seems to be jutting out of the side of the mountain, almost carved and hewn from the mountain itself, a large tower. The tower spans probably what you think to be 60, 70 feet from the base of the fort itself. And from just precursor glance, it seems dark, and part of it might have crumbled and caved in.
Bet you we can go ahead and fit and get more comfortable and warmer inside that part of the tower than in here.
It'll certainly provide much better shelter against the storm than being out in the open. Shame about those goblins, though. Wouldn't have mind sharing if they hadn't been so insistent on the good old ultraviolence.
Well, anyways, let's get the corpses out of the courtyard. We don't need to attract any wolves or anything.
I'm pretty sure if we just leave it to Ripper, he'll take care of it.
River is gonna get up, like, satisfactory in the arm roasting, and I'm gonna walk out and get Lillian in the cart and just, like, let her know everything's ready.
Oh yeah, we probably should do that, shouldn't we?
Praedith takes one look at the arm roasting. Is that your definition of having taken care of it?
Lillian pulls the cart in, looks at your handiwork. Yeah, seems about right. And she
Well,
pulls into the
I
stable.
mean, they were goblins this time at least. Usually it's bigger corpses.
At least, finally, a classical mob, and instead of fighting this weird darkness.
No,
Wait.
usually. I mean, usually when we kill things, usually it's people.
Yeah, that's why it's so much worse.
I mean, you didn't seem to have too much of a qualms when we were taking out the hobgoblins.
Goblins are people too. They just smell and tasty.
Well, the hobgoblin sort of had it
the
coming
bigger
though. The hobgoblins had left well enough alone. They
I mean,
would
to
still
be
be
fair-
alive, now wouldn't they?
I did
I mean,
start
to be
it.
fair, I've never actually met an hobgoblin that was, I guess, willing to be incarcerated. So I guess that does put them on the more feral side of things.
That assumes we were going to incarcerate anyone. If they had just left us alone, they wouldn't have gotten into trouble now, would they?
Well, look at it this way: if you incarcerate someone, it means they can be reasoned with, or that you want to punish them for whatever they did because you think that they will remedy their situation. On the other hand, we just murdered goblins and we don't even bother. You know, I'm just saying.
I also was under the assumption that you think that whatever it is you're imprisoning can change.
Well, I mean, that's the general consensus. And let me tell you, even though that there's plenty of Valencians who don't think that drow or half-drow will change. I mean, I spent 20 years in the Slammer.
Well, you were falsely imprisoned, though. You didn't actually do anything other than, like, existing while drow.
Right, exactly.
The rest
It's just food for thought, you know?
Valencia is quite set in her ways, though. That's why I left.
See, this man knows what I'm talking about. I mean, I imagine you didn't get it as bad as I do, but even then the elves are still as badly persecuted.
No, certainly not, but not even elves. Well, he gently runs his hand through his, well-trimmed beard. I'm a half-breed, as it were.
Right.
Some of them weren't anti-fancy about that, but even then I grew up in one of the better parts. Aspio, as it were.
Well, we seem to have
that's why
have quite the collection of half-breeds.
That's why the Lillian detector was going off earlier.
The
Well,
two,
I mean, to be
both
fair, he
Li-
does wear.
both
He,
Lily-
to be fair, he is wearing spectacles. Where else would you find those commonly?
Both Lillian and Praedith look at you as they adjust their glasses. I have no idea what you're talking about.
in unison too.
Just like the uncanny resemblance of both of them just pushing up the glasses by the middle.
Father?
Wait, I don't have a daughter. Of course I am. I'm your daughter. No, I had a vasectomy.
Okay, so where are we going into here?
What do you guys want? What do you guys want to do?
Dark
Well,
tower. Dark creepy
Ro-
tower.
Ronier was the one looking over there.
I'm just following, and in the meantime, I'm hanging out at the campfire.
Also, I really hope you guys can't hear the background noise.
Not yet.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Keep talking,
I
man.
can.
But we won't be able to hear anything if you keep talking.
It's fine.
The tower itself does not seem to be accessible, at least not normally. There are some very narrow slated windows upon the upper portions of it, the upper probably 50 feet or so of it. There does not seem to be any windows on the bottom to access it. But as Ronia, you kind of surmise that the top is a little bit crumbled. Maybe if you did want to, you can climb over to get in, perhaps.
I'm gonna go ahead and try. I put away my swords and I go ahead and I do some limber stretches to get myself primed to go ahead and climb over, just so I don't pull or anything, or worse, fall.
Praedith stands at the wall and turns around and kind of like squares his feet and cups his hands together and nods at Rainier. Come on then, I'll give you a boost.
The wall is cold and covered in some amount of snow and ice. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay.
I usually just ask Ripper to throw me.
Can I get something? It is one of those days today. That is a 5.
I don't think anyone has inspiration.
Does me giving him a boost help?
Yeah, you have advantage for the first small distance.
Okay. Nope, that was the better of the 2 rolls.
It really is one of those
It's gonna
days.
be one of those days.
Praedith tries pushing him up, but like he doesn't quite make it, and his ass just comes back in his face.
No, I was gonna say he pushes on my feet, but he pushes too far forward, and I fall back, and I end up falling on top of Praedith.
Can the geriatrics not get injured?
Oh, you're so heavy.
I'm not that heavy.
I'm not that old.
You're both old compared to me.
Grace is completely lost on the young.
Has nothing to do with youth. Anyways, we have another door. Is this door locked?
This door does not appear to be locked. There does not seem to be any locking mechanism to it.
Tries to climb up window. Hey guys, you know the front door is unlocked, right?
Always have to do things the hard way.
Classic.
Show offs.
I'm gonna open this door and prepare to get pelted by more arrows.
Okay, so you're going to open the door, right, Nisa?
Yes. I still have symbiote, it's fine.
All right. Nisa, why don't you go ahead and roll a strength check?
Strength check. Let's see. That's terrible. Actually, an 18.
The door is large and thick, and it has not been opened in some time. Like the front door itself, the paint of it, which was once a red, is now flaking off and almost completely gone. It's become an auburn color now. With some force, you find that you are able to open it. To your wonder of why the goblins did not seek refuge inside, it's probably because they did not have the manpower or the strength to do so. But yet
They
you
didn't
do,
have the
and you
knowledge
push
of
the door.
leverage.
Yeah, they didn't have leverage. Apply sickle here. Easy leverage.
They left their physicist at home.
Yeah. They ate their physicist. Is what happened.
Max, who needs those? It means his brain is tastier.
Exactly. You open the door, and wind from the outside blows inward into a dark foyer, a small 20-foot squared foyer. And then that leads into a bigger chamber as the daylight kind of just goes in beams of light.
Put the scythe away and cast produce flame, so I have a light source.
Absolutely. What is the radius of this light source?
It is, let's see, produce flame is radius 10 foot of bright light, and I guess I'm assuming 20 feet of dim.
Light total. Yep. Okay. So why don't you guys define a marching order as Nisa starts to walk in?
Ronier's gonna go second.
Okay.
I'll go behind that.
Now, Nisa, you don't have to be the first one. This is you guys
Well-
determine the marching order here.
I mean, it doesn't hurt for now. I still have symbiote up, so if something bad happens, I'm not gonna get downed immediately, hopefully.
All right.
I'm alright being in the back for now.
Okay. So that was Nisa, Ronier, Praedith, Ripper, and Lillian shall be in the back in that case. All right.
I'll light a torch from the campfire.
Okay. You light a torch from the campfire before coming in, so you have light in the front and the back. Nisa, the first thing you see when you walk into the foyer is that to the left and the right side of you, which is a 10-foot foyer, you see that there are these odd sconces These are very old architecture sconces. They are essentially a small bowl-shaped a fixture of stone that is protruding from the wall, and this would be used to hold small logs and kindling as you light a fire with it, or oil, or charcoal and ash. So these are very, very old structures that you find in front of you. And I'm going to draw you to the map for now.
Okay.
In front of you, once you pass the foyer, you see that the first chamber has a set of stairs that go ascending on the left side of this room. And at the very far side of the room, there is a gong hanging by a gong stand. And in the ground in front of you, in the square carving, there's a relief of a symbol of an eye carved and etched into the very floor that surrounds you.
I look at the gong and I just say, well, no matter what we do, no one ring the gong. I think I've read this book.
Would the symbol of this eye be familiar to me at all?
You would probably know off the hand that this is not currently the newest, but this is an older, more archaic symbol for Helm, the god of vigilance and protection. The newer model of the symbol is affixed to a gauntlet with an eye as well. There are also two passages to the left and the right side of the rooms that go beyond archways.
I
Well,
suppose the rest of you are keen on exploring.
well, we can't exactly try to weather the storm if we don't know if, there's something else hostile around here, though it doesn't look like anyone's been in here in ages.
Indeed. Alright. Well, where do we start? Left or right?
Crunchy, slobbery noises emanate from the back.
Cartilage shatters.
Freydith pulls out a small coin from his coin purse. Flip a coin for it.
Sure.
Genesis Isaac actually have a coin.
I do. Let's say head to the right, head to the right, and tail to the left. We're going right.
Sure.
Okay. Heading towards the right. You see that the right archway leads into the tower, as you had seen from the outside. You know this from the cylindrical shape that it is given. And what you see here is a similar symbol in the very center of the cylinder, the tower itself. And there's a staircase to the left that ascends up to the upper floor of this place. This part of the tower, this first floor level, seems to be about 30 feet. The tower is about 60, 70 feet. You assume that there are only 2 levels to the tower, or at least that remain from such time and wear. There seems to be an abundance of crates and barrels stacked about the room itself, however.
Well, pretty much these barrels are probably rotted to hell.
They are very old, decrepit, filled with cobwebs. But if you were to step through the archway, immediately to your left, there is sacks of grains or old weathered grains.
Are the
There's
grains still good?
There's very little moisture here. So when you inspect them, they're just old and very dry, but they might still serve some meal.
I don't think we're quite that desperate.
Quite, but it's interesting. Must have been a storehouse for the monks that used to live here.
Would make sense.
So the barrels are full of cobwebs. That's full of grain. These are like boxes. Are these just also grain, or what are these?
If you want to inspect them, you can definitely do so, and they are actually nailed shut. So if you have some way to open them, you can inspect them.
Figures the one character that doesn't have a crowbar.
But you have the Scythe of Leverage.
I also have a hammer.
Just
on.
smash.
I'm
Excuse
pretty
me,
sure I
that
have.
hammer's
Actually, I have a crowbar.
That name is Ripper.
Actually, I got a crowbar.
Oh man, of course the drow would have a crowbar, right? B and E.
You wanna say that a little louder? I think the lag is kicking in again.
The microaggression.
The stereotypes.
No.
Yes. I'll go ahead and I'll crack that open if we want to preserve the integrity of the crate.
Somehow I doubt that crate has much integrity.
Right, cracking open the crate, you actually would find that inside the crate there is some very old straw that provides bedding for the contents of the crate, which happens to be clay bottles filled with some sort of liquid that slosh it when you pick it up. These clay bottles probably account for maybe about 500 milliliters of liquid. Deal with it.
I guess I'll
Yeah,
hand that to Lillian. Isn't Lillian an alchemist?
Yes.
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 I have no problem with metric.
Okay, good. I hope not.
Better not.
It's just better.
When you hand it to Lillian, she opens it. Wait, what do you want to know about this?
What it is? I can't tell what it is.
It's a wine.
Strange bottles to put wine in.
I take the cup. I take the sample from Lillian and I take a refined sip.
Refined.
It is
sip.
very, very old, but it has not been oxidized because it's been kept in this clay bottle.
Ooh.
And essentially, you have just taken a sip from 1 out of 6 from the crate. So there's like a 6-pack of wine in here, and it's very, very sweet.
Ooh. Very sweet. It's almost like a fruit bouquet almost.
You get
Very well preserved though.
you get the sense and taste of what tastes like ginger. Sorry, not ginger. Ginseng, honey, and some sort of berry you're not familiar with.
I want to say. What is it? No. Wolfberry? Either way, it's pretty good. We go ahead and take out the remaining 5 crates and pass it around.
Well, that was the. So that was that was just one crate, right? There appears to be.
There appears to be 3 immediately stacked on top of each other. That 2 more essentially that you have not opened of the 3.
Right, we should open the other ones just to confirm that they have the same contents or not.
Those 2 contain 6 more bottles in each crate.
Okay,
giving
so
you
they
total
do
of
contain
12.
this. This is a lot of alcohol.
18.
Yeah, it's starting to. These are just like looks at all the booze that has suddenly been acquired. Yeah, it's starting to look like Brion's all over again.
Suppose this is
we
a
could
bit of
use-
a treat for the lot of you.
We could use it.
Wait, what did you say, Isaac?
Suppose this is a bit of a treat for the lot of you.
Can't say I've been drinking too much. Kind of went on a bit of a bender the last time we got to, not be stabbed at for a few hours, and I don't really remember much of it, actually. I don't like that.
And I suppose there are worse places to get blackout drunk than in the middle of nowhere. At least here it limits the damage you can do to yourself. At least emotionally.
I did damage. I don't know if it was necessarily there, but this is not the point.
I'm gonna have a look in the barrels.
Okay. The barrels contained something that was supposed to be eaten, and all you find is soil at the bottom of these barrels. It gives you sort of an idea of how long this place has been around for. Centuries.
Okie dokie.
I'd like to go up the stairs in this column area.
Absolutely. Going up the stairs, you find that the stairs are very worn, weathered. The steps, which were at one point probably very angular, are now very rounded. You go up the stairs to find that the upper floor is almost completely crumbled. There is very little in terms of roof, but what amount of roof that does lie above you seems to have been preserved part of the room. And this part of the room seems to be a bedroom for a important person or something, because it's large and it's spacious, and there is a singular bed, although covered in dust, is not destroyed.
I'll walk over to the bed. And once I'm next to it, I'll just place my hand on the covers and kind of gently pull them aside, see if there might be anything in that was left in the bed before this place was abandoned.
Like a
Left
skeleton.
Left in the bed seems to be well made. Last before whoever had departed from this place seemed to have made the bed in typical fashion. There does not seem to be anything in the bed, but why don't you make a perception check to scan and see if there's anything else within the room or the bed itself.
17.
With a 17, you find that although the bed does not provide any notable interest, on the opposite side, where the crumbled roof lies, underneath all the rubble of rocks and debris, there seems to have been a desk or some sort of table or study that has been smashed and crumbled underneath this study.
All right. With the desk smashed, I'd kind of I would like to walk over and kind of just briefly search through the rubble, see if there might be something in there.
You may do so. And in a few moments' time, you would find that this desk has a few journals and notebooks that are rather worn. But one thing is of a note, and sandwiched between the books and journals that are kind of completely faded by erosion, text, moisture, and such, there is a piece of vellum, which is animal skin, and you would write upon it, essentially. You
Right.
probably know.
Right.
There seems to be some sort of writing upon it. And the writing, although very faint, and it's just like a sliver, a small sliver that you would put in your hand, almost like a quick note or something. It says, "Ring the gong 4 times with the tethered mace that is shrouded."
The tethered mace that is shrouded.
Only then will the door open.
All right. There's not. Would I be able to see if there's anything else of interest in this room?
Not really. You find that there is a cupboard, or not a cupboard, but a set of drawers and cabinets, which would contain religious garments, long forgotten and moth-eaten by this point, but they still have the brandished symbol of Helm.
Would it be a safe assumption that if we really needed to, it might make good kindling?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'll go ahead and pocket the vellum and grab a handful of the robes as I head downstairs. Found a few things that might be useful. Some clothes that we could burn, start a fire, but also something rather peculiar. And I'll go ahead and fish that piece of vellum out of my pocket and show it to the rest of the party.
Door? What door?
Probably a hidden one. Monasteries usually keep such important things behind hidden doors.
Last time we opened a door, we doomed the world.
Last time we opened a door, we
I'm sorry, you did what now?
no. Last time we opened a door, we
Last time we opened a door, we went down a long stairwell.
that and killed a guy, but
Narrows eyes.
I mean, that's more commonplace for us than normal.
That seems fake, but okay.
You have no clue.
Ripper, you really need to not tell everyone about the whole doom the world thing. Seems like a good way to make enemies. We don't need any more of those. It's too late now.
He helped us kill the goblins. We're friends now.
I mean, if the world's ending, I'd at least like to know about it.
Not yet, but it's coming.
Is that why
Give
the
it
lot of
time.
you are, is that why the
Give
lot
it
of you
time.
are here? Trying to find a way to stop it, or trying to run from it?
Oh no, if I was running from it, why would I run here, of all places? If I knew the world was going to end and I was running, I'd run to, a beach somewhere and at least die where it's warm.
You sure you wouldn't be running with the circus at that point?
I'm sorry, is that another inside joke that I'm not aware
Oh,
of?
it's
Or is the
very
world going
inside.
to end by a circus?
Oh, it's very inside. Trust me.
They put on a good show.
Well, the circus in question does happen to be, really far south, so I guess that qualifies. No, I definitely wouldn't run here. This is definitely
The
not my...
last place you'd be.
Yes, well,
Well,
the question is, where is this door, and do we really want to open it? Because
or
opening
this leather-bound mace that it speaks of.
and 'cause, opening hidden doors is, well, usually leads to bad things.
Yes, but what are the odds that if we sleep here for the night, it won't come out anyways?
I'm going to get bored of talking with people and start wandering.
Which way do you go?
I'm gonna go up and look at the gong up here.
Okay. So where your token is, you've gone up the flight of stairs that goes around the perimeter of the chamber. So you can stand here or here to inspect it.
Oh.
When you come upon the gong seems to be made of. You're inspecting it, right? Make an investigation check.
you asking for nat 1?
Yes.
I told you asking for it.
It's just that kind of day.
It's just,
Wait, no, I have bardic inspiration. It's gonna count twice.
there you go.
I
There
also
you
rolled a
go.
1 on that.
Oh my lord!
Okay, I
That's
think
a
I have a
2.
modifier. Hold on.
3, right? 3.
Yes, that's gonna be a 3 total.
So I want you to describe what it's a gong, that's definitely sure, but what does Ripper do? How does Ripper investigate?
The
What does-
temptation to ring the gong is entirely too distracting.
Instead of looking for anything to ring the gong, I just start tapping it with claw, and then just kind of knocking on it, and just progressively getting louder.
You guys in the other room hear the gong being gently, crescendoed.
I think we lost Ripper's attention.
It's getting louder and louder
We had
and
it.
louder.
We had it to begin with.
For a minute.
And then I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna just start dancing to music that is in my head. And I'm gonna go and inspect this area down the other hallway.
Okay. So I'll just describe to you, Ripper, what the gong looks like. The gong, because you're looking at it anyway, the gong is a large, about, I want to call it 2.5 feet across in diameter. It stands on a black wood pedestal. Affixed to the pedestal is chains. And the gong seems to have 3 different colors to it. In the center, it is a metallic color, then a black, and then on the outside bands a silvery color to it. You go into the other room, go through an archway, and you see that it seems like a monastery or a church or something, a place of religious worship. You find that there are pews and that are lined and that lead up to a shrine of some sort. And there's very clearly a figure or a deity or some person of worship that is enshrined. Old candles and incense line benches where you would place them next to the shrine. But the most jarring thing is when you take a step and actually enter into the church itself, there is a puff of purple light that expands and explodes around the room. And you see figures coalesce and form together, and you would see what look like monastery men, holy men, gathered and sat upon the pews, and then there's one head figure that is addressing them. They are talking, and as you inspect them and listen to them, they speak an accent that you're somewhat familiar with. It's kind of like Tianese, but not quite. And they say to each other, it is the figure at the front is saying to the rest of them, it is important that you recall the sequence for the gong. It is our duty to protect those that seek refuge from the darkness. Remember, you must strike the gong in the center first. And then, and as that happens, it cuts out and all the figures disappear and explode off into light once more, leaving no trace of their presence behind.
Go ahead.
I'll jump back to the rest of you
No,
while that's happening.
Okay.
I assume that we're pretty much done in this room, so we're walking back out into the main room and talking to Ronir.
Ronir is helping himself to the wine that he already opened and is drinking it happily.
And
Predith will kind of hold a hand out as if to say, may I have a sip?
there's a whole crate. Just grab one.
Sure. He goes ahead and he cleans the rim of the mouth and hands it to Freya.
Might as well share. I'm certainly not going to drink one entire one on my own.
Lightweight.
Hey, Ronir, can you
I
finish
just like
Oh,
to keep
buddy,
my
you're
mind.
in the wrong party.
I just like to keep my mind sharp. As he takes a sip of it, he hands it back. Goji berries, I think.
That's what they're called.
Yes, small little red things.
And as for what we were talking about, Ronir, you also assume that my, reason for the whole circus thing is still valid. It's probably not.
Hey, if the world was ending and I had someone who was that attached to me, I'd probably be spending my last days with them too, even if it was under a one-night stand.
Oh, you assume that attachment lasts. It usually doesn't. As I walk up to this door and I see Ripper just staring at nothing.
Hey, it could last till the end of the world at least, and then he bumps into Ripper and spills the wine on himself. Oh God! Let's. Anyway, Ripper, buddy, you there?
I found the ghost.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, you found the what now?
I was here and I left. You have to hit the middle of the gong first.
Predith looks at the rest of them. What were the ghosts of?
Are you sure they were actually ghosts? At least we've seen ghosts before, so we know what they look like.
Ripper shrugs. I was purple. What are these benches made out of? Are they wood or stone?
They're
or
wood.
How sturdy do they look?
They look quite sturdy given that they've been here this long, and as long as they have, the only thing that covers them is dust, and quite a hefty amount.
I want to jump up on the seat of the close one.
You step up, it holds your weight, it creaks for a bit, but it settles.
Excellent. I'm going to like jump from seat to seat just because I can and it's fun.
Okay.
And I'm gonna head towards. I think I see a door on the left here. Actually,
Yes,
I want to stop and look up here, the altar.
Okay. So you stop just shy of the door, head to the altar first. The figure that is enshrined here is a humanoid-looking individual that is cased in armor. The figure is made of solid metal. It looks like it's a brass or something, a brass or a bronze. And the individual is entombed in sort of, not entombed, but carved out of full metal. And it seems to be plate metal, but it's not the typical plate metal that you're familiar with, probably coming from Haven and such. This looks like a culturally different sort of armor, something you might find in the Strand or in Tian.
It's neat.
Very interesting indeed.
Well,
Is that
whoever
all it's... Oh, sorry.
whoever abandoned this place seems to have left in a hurry. They didn't take anything that we can find, anyways.
Perhaps they didn't abandon it so much as die in it. If, well, the ghosts are to be believed.
Well, I think we'd find bodies in that case, or at least skeletons.
Perhaps that's why we need to find where their secret entrance is.
I will wander towards the door.
Okay, Ripper goes to the archway that leads into the next room. Praedyth, as you start to walk through the pews, past the pews and such, you get this very odd sensation of like hairs in the back of your neck, they stand straight up.
Right, as I get this feeling, it's something that I've definitely felt before in my life. Something that I've probably attuned myself to, as it almost feels like the temperature drops for a second. And is there anything in particular that's of note around me?
Not in terms of details around the area. This place has at one point definitely been heavily used. But why don't you give me your choice of insight, nature, or religion? One of these three skills, trying to piece together what Ripper might have seen.
I will go ahead and give you insight, since that's my highest one.
I see you.
I see you. That will be a 18.
Okay. Based on what Ripper said, the creatures that had just displayed themselves, they weren't malevolent. You know ghosts. Ghosts are usually malevolent, and they have sinister intentions because they have been tormented. The projections that had appeared were merely projections. And you know that this to be something called remnant, or remnants. Remainders of fractions and fragments of time of important events that have transpired within certain places.
Got it.
They are not evil. They are simply there and that exist.
It's like
And they're
watching
often,
a cutscene.
yeah, they are often confused with ghosts,
Right.
as Ripper had done so.
Okay. Okay. So I might continue onward then, following to this room, see if we can find any more of these remnants that might help us piece together.
The next room you find before you seems to be a bathing area. There seems to be a pool to one side that seems to carry water from the rocks itself of this small mountain, and it floods through the rocks and comes out of a spout and drain somewhere in the pool. And the pool of water seems rather clear considering this much time has elapsed. To the very south, there seems to be a wash basin that still seems to be of a different water source, but it comes through the walls itself and pours and it fills and filters down somewhere.
Indoor
There seems to
plumbing.
be there seems to be stalls on the other side too. This place smells of lingering oils and balms, fragrances of cleanliness.
I'll go up and have a close, I'll look in these stalls and then like stop and look in the middle of the pool here.
Make a perception check.
Oh, actually, I didn't do terrible on that. Hold on.
You have a torch too.
Modified 20.
You find something hanging out from the bezel of the pool. It is a metallic chained sort of link. And it drags from the side of the pool and it drops into the pool itself. It has not rusted, which means it's of some decent metal.
I will pick it up and just like sort of lightly lift it just to see where it goes. I don't want to like yoink anything.
You lightly lift it, it comes off of the bezel about a foot, and then a foot and a half, and then you find that's the max distance length of it. And something heavy is anchored to it that lies in the water.
Am I able to see through the water and to like see what it's attached to?
The strangest thing is, although the water is very clear, it almost immediately disappears and turns into a black void, making it seem a lot deeper than it is.
Walking up behind Ripper, I'll go ahead and offer to use my sword to kind of stick it in there.
You into the water, or like to swirl it about, or
Yeah, swirl it about, stick it in the water, see like how shallow it really is.
okay. You stick your sword into the water, and when you do so,
You kill an innocent creature.
you find that you stick your sword into the water and you find bedrock, essentially, like the base of the
Right.
pool, and it's no more than about, I want to say, like 2 feet.
Okay. And given the dimensions of this pool, like that makes sense, right?
That makes sense. That's completely makes sense. It's a very shallow pool for washing and bathing. When you pull the sword out, you notice that there's a black ichor that trails from your blade, and it's like viscous, mucousy, and it leaves a string.
Would I know what this is?
Not immediately, but make a nature check.
Can I
After
also
a
make a
moment.
nature check?
Sure, you can try to make a nature check.
Nat 20.
Wow. Isaac,
Oh,
you're
wow.
on fire today.
I will take that.
I actually got a 16.
Okay.
Thank God I was not the DM tonight, or those rolls would have been awful for all of you.
What was your Ripper?
16.
Okay. Well, at first it is difficult to tell. It merely looks like an oil slick. But as the stringy mass falls back into the pool and makes like a splish as this globule kind of connects back and descends into the water, it's immiscible. But what's more shocking is that the blade upon your sword is rusted, chipped, and missing small parts as if acid had corroded it. Your sword takes a -1 to attack.
Oof.
Ooh.
This thing is some sort
Big
of
oof.
creature, probably a ooze family creature.
I frown at my sword as I kind of try to like wipe it along the side of like, I don't like the edge of the bath maybe before putting it back in the sheath.
It's at that point where it begins to rise out of the water like a black mass, and I need you guys to roll initiative.
No
Oh
crap.
boy, it's pudding time. And can I roll something higher? Can I
Okay,
get
so
double
how long has it been since we walked in the door?
By this point, with all the drinking and such, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
As it's rising out, will it be all right if I call to the rest of the party?
Yeah.
Clearly,
yeah,
I'm just focused on how goopy this stuff is.
Ripper's trying to figure it out. Like punch, no punch. But yeah, I'll scream out as my voice echoes through the temple. Trouble! Trouble! Make it. The calling it back. Make it double. No, you idiot!
All right. Initiatives are up, correct?
Yes.
They are
Yes,
accurate?
Ronir will totally answer that one.
All right.
Oh
With
god,
black
Ripper's
mass.
initiative.
This black mass emerges. I will roll quickly initiative. All right. So, that being the case, let us have Nisa go first.
Oh boy, I'm first. Well then, what can I do with that? Let's see. Okay, none of these are useful for what I'm gonna have to do here. So, I guess we will start with, well, it just came out of water. What's the range on this? Where's my range? Oh my god, where is the range on this? Oh, 120 feet. That's plenty. We will try to chill touch it and see if that affects it at all.
Are you within the room? Are you in the room?
I'm not in the room, but I can move forward to look at it. I don't want to go in there, though.
Okay.
Okay, so... Plus, let's see... It's going to be a 25 to hit.
A 25 to hit, yes, is good.
And that is 4 points of necrotic damage. And it... Let's see... cannot regain HP until the end of my next turn. Not that that's probably relevant, but... And then we're gonna get away from this door. I don't like whatever's happening here. I'm gonna back away.
Imagine an ooze regaining HP. You'd like that when you
It's
met.
an ooze cleric.
All right. At that point, we're going to have Lillian go, and she'll hurl a firebolt at it, and Bishop runs in and is going to duck behind a stall for a moment. Runir.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dissonant whispers this thing at level 2.
Okay, that is a wisdom saving throw, and it's it's a -1.
Someone's rolling lower than Ronir
Oh, that's
now.
fantastic. Yes. I should also mention that it must use its reaction if available to move far away from Ronir as possible.
Okay, Runir, can you move your token to where you're casting the spell so I know? And as sort of the fire hits this
Certainly,
creature,
I'll go over here.
Okay. As the fire from Lillian's bolt hits the creature, it recoils in fear, just enough for Ronir to get in, to create distractions, and to whisper into it.
6,
6 points.
8 is 6 and 8 is 14.
Okay. All right. It uses a reaction. It's going to move like right up against the corner. You know what? It's even going to like go as far as way as you possible. It slinks up the ceiling.
It's gonna slink up this. Oh God!
Yes, that happened.
Doesn't it pull away from Ripper's zone of control?
If you force it, it doesn't count.
Oh, of course it doesn't go. Okay.
Yeah, you have to,
unfortunately.
they basically in order to provoke an opportunity attack, you Must
It
spend
must be-
movement.
It must be a willful spending of movement.
Yes.
Very odd, but it is what it is.
You can't get opportunity attacks without consent.
No means no.
That's exactly what this ooze says. It's a warbled, screeching mass. Okay.
If
Right.
only any of us spoke ooze.
That would be the day.
Yeah.
Looks at Lillian. You speak
What's that
everything.
supposed to mean?
You speak everything else.
That's racist. Sagist.
Magist.
Okay. Praedyth, what do you do as this thing climbs up the wall and is now hanging inverted on the ceiling?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and use my free action to whip out my crossbow because I don't want to stab at it with my sword again, and I'm going to cast an Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay.
All right. $17 and I'm bad. I'm at 23.
That will both hit.
Yes, they do. That'll deal 10 points of damage total.
Okay, 10 points of damage. You make pocket holes into the ooze as it splatters about.
I will try to move back at this point. Can I occupy the same space as Bishop?
Yes, he's super tiny.
Awesome, cool. So I'll just kind of stand over by Bishop and try to usher him behind me.
Okay. That the case, we go to next is the ooze. And what are the limitations, Renier, of what it can do?
Let me
If any.
Let me see this very specifically. Creature must, as its reaction, move as far away from me as possible. As speed allows, it will not move into such dangerous, obvious terrain. That's all it says. Nothing restricting attack actions or anything. It just has to,
Okay.
as a reaction, move away from me.
All right, that's good. It has a disadvantage, right? Because is it feared or just frightened?
No, there's no.
Okay.
There is no instance of disadvantage. It just has to move away from me on that first instance.
It's the
It's not
back
touch.
spell.
It's not Tasha's hideous laughter.
All right. From the ceiling, which is only about 10 feet, it forms a pseudopod to slap Ripper in the face.
Ooh.
It's going to be a 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
You take initially. Let me roll that again. That's cocked again. You're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from the slap itself, and then the lingering traces of the acidic pseudopod resonates some more acid damage. So that's going to be 26
I'm sorry?
points of acid damage.
Well, I'm bloodied.
I would have been
Damn.
down.
Yeah, that would have been that I would have been close to down there too. Jeez.
Ripper. It's
Okay,
going
that
to.
really- Oh my
It's going to
God.
just come above you. It's going to be right above you.
Okay.
with its movement.
What are these stalls made out of?
They are made of granite.
Okay, so that's probably not happening.
What are you trying to do? Like pull a stall off and beat it?
No, like pull a stall off and use it as a shield.
You'd probably be able to do that.
I don't know, man. With my dice. How weathered do these stalls look?
They're not weathered, but they're not exactly thick. If you punch it at its like cement foundation, you definitely can remove it.
All right, I'll give it a go.
Okay, make a strength check to break it, and then you'll gain +2 to your armor.
Oh, yep. There's the 5.
Okay, what's the total?
Sub 10, 9.
Yep, it does not break upon first hit. Do you want to try with a bonus action? I'll count this like an attack or something.
Yeah, I will do this.
Or if you want to save it for a rage or something, that's up to you.
The rage is not going to save me from the next hit, so I might as well try.
Okay.
Okay, that's better on the strength check. It's a 21.
You break off a piece of granite, and it's about your torso size. These stalls are thick slabs, or wide, long slabs.
All
So
right,
you gain +2 your armor.
I'm just gonna like lift this over my head to try and block.
Okay, we go to top of the round again. Nisa.
Things are
Scale
not
you're coming
looking.
off of your friend.
Yeah, things are not looking terribly good.
I'm actually gonna take a step back, so if it falls down, I'm not completely smothered.
Sweet.
I'm gonna
Good call.
try to get view in here because like there's a massive clusterfuck in this door right now.
Ripper is smoking.
I see that. Just a thought. Maybe everyone standing in the tiny room is not a good idea. I say, as I will cast Healing Spirit as a bonus action. I really need to make a token for that. So the the symbiote spirit sort of launches out of Nisa, passes right through our new friend here. Oh hey, there's another me.
What color do you want the healing light to be?
I guess just tint the token like blue or something. and make it like just put it as like move to bottom so it can go under tokens.
Okay.
And we'll put that in Ripper's space. So, and because now Ripper has entered its space or rather, it has entered Ripper's space, either way, like, someone is now in its space, you will immediately get 1 point of health because I rolled a 1.
Yay!
This is starting well!
Yes.
And then I will use my action to, send I guess I'll throw, like, Produce Flame at it, and we'll see if that looks like it does anything. So it's going to be a 15.
Okay. I'm just gonna tell you guys, its armor class is 7, so we can just speed things on
Right.
because it's very low.
Okay.
So yeah, it hits.
Okay, so that deals a d8 of fire damage. 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Ah.
Daniel, nice. It takes the fire damage. It does not seem to be resistant against it, and it kind of just like screeches and hurls itself around.
I'm gonna back up again because that seems like the danger zone. I want no part of this, but the healing spirit can stay there and do its thing.
Okay. Have Ronir go, just for now. I'll come back
Okay,
to
sure.
Lillian.
Ronir is going to go ahead and cast. Let me do that. If I cast a spell, remind me, the rules are if I cast a spell as a bonus action, I can only cast cantrips as my regular action.
Yes.
What I don't
Yes.
know. Isaac has a different rule, I think.
I think the way I did it is the way we did it in the Nexus, which is like the bonus action one can be like up to third
Okay.
maximum.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
Alright.
actually. Yeah, let's keep it as up to third now, and if it becomes a problem later, we'll change it.
Gotcha. Okay. Either way, it will work for my purposes as I cast Healing Word at level 2 on Ripper. So Ripper, you get. Where's my d4s?
2
Roll
points
higher
of
than
healing.
1.
I got 2 2s, so you get a total of 10 points of healing.
A.
And then with my regular action, I cast Vicious Mockery on the ooze, as I say, the only thing blacker here other than you is Nisa's heart.
Oh shit!
Oh.
That's a 2 for 1.
Nisa looks at you, and she's just like, "Damn, why the drive-by?" Like,
Like, have you seen what has happened to me the past couple of days? That should not be surprising at this point.
Whew. Okay, so Wiz save for this Dissonant Whisper is
feel-
going to be bad.
I feel like I need to roll a save for that vicious mockery. Damn.
I know, right? It's like a 2 for 1 spell. He's like he has meta magic now.
Oh man.
Okay.
What is
did
the
it
this?
save?
What Wait, what?
No, it fails.
What's the saving throw for vicious mockery? Is
Okay.
it wisdom?
That is
It is wisdom,
Wisdom.
technically.
wisdom. Yes.
Nisa will remember
It takes
this.
4 points of wisdom.
I'm thinking about it.
Well, I mean, we've traded bars quite a bit, but anyway.
Yes.
4 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay.
Daniel,
Alright.
the real MVP.
Okay, so if you want to do anything else, Ronia, you can't like movement because you are in the room.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move out of this room because, as Nisa wisely suggested, let's not say we did.
Okay. Lillian fires off magic missiles, and they just hit the target, and you can see splashes of black ichor drop down on your makeshift granite slab shield. Could everyone take a d4 and roll it?
Okay, I got a 1.
I got a 3.
2.
I got a 4.
Okay. All right. This creature does not seem to be well off at this point. It is having trouble composing itself, and we go to Praedith.
All right. So, because I just forgot to describe it earlier because I'm bad at that. On the other end of Praedith's sword, the hilt, there seems to be what looks to be almost like a incredibly short blade sticking out from the other end of it, almost as if it would have no use in combat, as longer sword versus small tiny blade at the end. But anybody watching, he quickly moves his hand up and grabs the blade, cutting his hand along it as he moves his hand upwards, and flings his hand outward, where blood comes out from his hand, forming into a small orb directly beneath the ooze. Eventually, the orb lands on the ground, forming a sort of like pentagram and sigil as he mutters an incantation under his breath. And I'm going to use a bonus action to cast an amplified blood curse of binding on the ooze. So the bound creature, which can be no larger than one size larger than me, within 30 feet, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw, or its speed is reduced to 0 until its next turn. And because it's amplified, the curse is ongoing, so it's just, it keeps going until the creature finally succeeds on its strength saving throw, which it can continue to make at the end of its turn.
12.
12. It does not succeed. All right, so now that it is bound in place, and because that was a bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and cast another Eldritch Blast at him.
I had a suspicion as to what that character was.
You said that his AC was 7, right?
7.
Yeah, okay, I beat that.
Bar is low, hopefully.
The bar is very low. If you wanted to know, that
No,
was...
it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
And that will deal 14 points of damage total.
Oh, wait, what are you using to attack it?
Eldritch Blast?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
14 points of damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So chunks and pieces are being blasted, and it's just raining black oil that slick onto your shield, Ripper. And it's leaving these sizzling marks as your shield becomes further and further weakened. So it is the ooze's turn now. The ooze is going to... Is it stuck in place, or...
No, it's not stuck in place by
But its speed
dissonant
was
with thirst.
0.
It's stuck by my curse of binding. Its speed is 0.
Okay, so it can't move at all, but it can still at least try to whip Ripper a little bit.
With disadvantage.
Yeah, okay. All right. There we go. 11 to hit.
Miss.
Your shield protects you. Your shield takes a -1 to armor class, so now it's +1 as it tries to whip into your granite slab. Can't move, so we go to you, Ripper.
Ripper, you get a d6 of health. I will heal you. Oh, I got the full 6 that time.
Oh, I like that.
Law of
Yay.
averages. Yay!
The law of averages.
Okay,
Yes,
the
the rule of
shield,
small
the shield
numbers
is
prevails.
deteriorating quickly, so I'm going to use this as an improvised weapon and like frisbee it into this thing?
You can actually reach it. You don't need to frisbee it, but you could. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I want to frisbee.
All right.
So we're doing that. Let's see. Oh, that's terrible. But it's AC is 7. I can hit it. Yeah. So that will hit, and that's gonna do. I do a D4.
The slab is going to be a D6 of damage.
Oh, that's even more than with Tavern Brawler. I'll take it. Let's see. That's 4 plus strength. That's gonna be 8 points of frisbee damage.
Okay, that will be bludgeoning as it slams into it. Amazingly, it is actually like almost cleaved in twain, but it recovers a little bit. Anything else you want to do?
No, I'm good.
Okay, stay where you are.
Yeah, I don't want to get like slapped in the booty.
Okay, Nisa, your spirit is caressing Ripper,
Yep.
picking
So-
off globules.
Just like I don't. It's just like I don't get paid enough for this. Yeah, it's kind of a clusterfuck in this door, but we can occupy friendly spaces, so we'll just kind of. If I can click my token. Too many bodies. I'll just do the same thing again, so we'll just shoot at it. Oh, that's. If its armor class wasn't pitiful, that would not hit. That was terrible.
It's
But
like I made sure that you guys might have a chance.
Might. I don't know. Okay. 6 points of fire damage from Produce Flame.
Okay, 6 points of fire damage. It is looking very, very poorly off. This creature is boiling, almost. Its mass. It's just evaporating quickly. It's going to go to Ronir again quickly. So go ahead, Ronir.
I'm going to go ahead and just do another Dissonant Whispers.
I'll be right back, you guys.
Says,
All right.
I don't want this to be another I don't want this to be black on black crime, but you really need to go.
10. It fails.
Okay. Takes another 4 points of psychic damage and has disadvantage on its next attack.
Awesome. With that, we're going to... Prada's not here, so we're going to go have Lillian. Lillian is just going to... That's bad.
Pray.
Lillian's
Yeah,
gonna
pray.
KS.
No,
Hey,
it's
look,
not.
pray this back.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm back.
Pradas,
My
go
turn?
ahead.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cast another Eldritch Blast at him, still mourning the damage done to my sword. Whew! One of those is a nat 20, and one of the other one is an 18.
Okay, nat 20 and 18. Yep, both hit. Of course.
Does double damage count for a spell?
Yes.
Oh, God, yes, okay.
Yeah, so you double the first bolt. So you're firing essentially 3d10.
3. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, that is... Math is hard. 17 points of damage total.
Yes. How do you end it?
Alright. Alright. As, you know, this thing, we're slowly whittling it down, and I've been firing Eldritch Blast from it. Praedyth reaches for the hand that is still bleeding, and squeezing it allows a few drops to fall into his other hand. And using those, he quickly swipes through the air, creating what looks to be 3 darts made out of magic, before pushing them forward and firing them right into the ooze. And at first, it doesn't look like it does much, as they just go right into it, but eventually the ooze begins to bubble before it almost looks like it's eating itself from the inside out.
It immediately drops down towards you, Ripper, but you can easily dodge out of the way before it lands on the ground and starts to drain into the drainage grommets. So, this creature is deceased now. There does not seem to be any other threats about the pool itself. And now you can actually see the bottom of the pool, where it's accumulated a little bit of scum from the water. but it's not that black, empty void that seems to go on forever.
Is there anything in the water that we can see that maybe?
Yes. By this point, you see that the chain is where you left it on the bezel of the pool, and it leads down into the bottom where it is still seemingly okay. It does not seem to be damaged by the ooze. It is
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's a mace-like structure, and it seems to have a sheath upon its head.
Huh. I suppose that's what you're missing then, Ripper.
I'm continuing to heal Ripper during this because heals.
I'll quickly put a hand on Ripper's back.
He probably doesn't. If I say if you're gonna heal him, he probably doesn't need it.
Not that, no. Are you quite all right there?
I've had worse.
Well,
Worse than an acidic black ooze monster. I have many questions, but perhaps for another time.
over the course of this small to be precise, over the course of the next 48 seconds, you gain 35 points of health.
Excellent.
Yeah, Ripper, and you've been exfoliated. Your newest scales that you never knew, like it's a different color almost.
My scales are so clean because I'm worth it. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Healing Spirit.
Getting bathed in acid and then getting healing spirit.
Alright, I'll go ahead and, reach in with the hand that does not have a cut on it, because I'm not insane, infections are a thing. And I'll reach into the water and kind of feel around before grabbing the mace and pulling it out and giving it a shake.
Yep, you wring the water out of it. The mace, the body of it is metallic, but it's got this sheath upon its head. And again, there is a metallic chain that seems to have been broken at one point. That is made of what you think is silver. Actually, it's not a cheap metal. It's decorative.
Right, and like this mace matches what was in the vellum that I found, right? Like it doesn't look like it's missing anything off of it.
The vellum did not give you a image or anything. It just gave you it said that it was a shrouded mace that rings the gong.
Shrouded mace. Does this count as shrouded? I don't know.
There is a shroud or sheath on top of the head, so it could count.
With that as well, I'll go ahead and remove my cloak, stuffing it into my pack as, some of the ooze, as it was splashing around and dying, got onto it, burning holes into parts of it.
Yes.
And as I do so, Praedyth is wearing a nice but old and somewhat ratty coat, the double-breasted, wrapped around the waist with belts and what looks to be some sort of decorative cloth underneath it. As well, he seems to be wearing thigh-high boots because I can. In case y'all needed the image.
In case we needed justification as to why you're wearing thigh-high boots.
Right.
Oh, I mean, do you ever really need justification for why I should wear
Some
thigh-high
seasons may not
boots?
be appropriate for young.
Exactly.
These boots were made for walking.
And that's probably not what they'll be doing because I don't like walking. All right.
As the healing spirit retreats from the room because it is out of healing points.
Okay.
And
So-
it looks displeased at all of the acid that it is having to walk around to get out of here.
Flips you off or disappears.
It's like a 60 snap, like a Z snap. All right. What do you guys do at this point? You've recovered some sort of hitting instrument. That is not Ripper. I'll make that very clear.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
look at this wash basin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything noteworthy around here?
The water, it seems to be not the same water. This water looks very clear, more so than the actual pool itself. And it seems to just drain back into the wall once it falls into the basin.
Okay. Does there seem to be anything else like in the basin? Anything that was like dropped or placed there?
Not exactly. It's very empty. There might be some sort of like natural plant growth growing about it, but nothing artificially dropped.
Okay.
It's a very clean, crisp wash basin.
I'll wash my hands.
Your hands.
I still have goblin on them.
Okay. Your hands are immediately cleaned and cleansed, and you feel rejuvenated.
Excellent. And I will have washed, and I'm gonna start heading back to the other room.
Okay. You go back to the church with the pews. It is quiet, it is empty, and it's desolate. What happened to the torch you were wielding, Ripper?
Well, you know, an interesting thing about that, when I had to go and punch out the stall to hold on to it, I just sort of put it in my mouth, like, you know,
like a
a Spanish
flashlight.
dancer with
Yeah.
a rose. Only it's fire and very large.
Yep.
So, yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna leave it in my mouth. We'll leave it
Yeah.
there for now. It's fine.
So, what do?
Nothing else in there. So I'll run up the stairs like a loony and see what's up here.
Okay. Ripper runs upstairs, alone.
I'll follow behind him, but like not running, but so much as casually walking as I kind of just talking to the room. So, we know we must strike the gong with the mace, starting in the center. What about the other 3 strikes?
Center.
Because the vellum did say we had to strike it 4 times total, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it said 4 times with the shrouded mace.
I'm gonna keep running up the stairs looking for more friends.
All right. If that's the case, Ripper leads to charge, running upstairs. Does anyone else want to do anything before that happens?
I think I'm good. Maybe like grab Lillian and bring her along.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
please do that
I
for me.
think Ronier might follow Ripper up the stairs.
Okay.
Takes
Ripper,
a long drink from wineskin, says nothing.
Yes. Yes. Well, finishes the last of the empty wine bottle that we opened up earlier.
Yeah, when you are taking a swig going up the stairs, Lillian passes by you, Ronier, and says, "Hey, when you're done with that, can I have the bottle?"
We have an open pack back downstairs.
No, I want the bottle. It's super cool and vintage.
Fucking hipsters.
All right, fine. He goes ahead, he gulps it all down, and then he passes her the bottle.
And it's like super reusable too. It's eco-friendly.
We're gonna go back to Aspio and like
Oh my
Lillian in the
God.
middle of getting bullied by her peers. And you'll never make it as a wizard. And love your jar, by the way. Thanks, it's a mason.
It's also BPA, animal cruelty free.
God.
Nobody cares.
It was BPA family friendly. No animals were harmed in the making of this, except for the immigrants that picked it for me.
Ronier in the background intensifies.
All right. Ripper, when you get up to the top, you notice that
You see this?
there. Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
You see, this is why I have to take shots in the dark, because otherwise everyone instinctively gangs up on the half drow.
How is that ganging up on you?
Ripper, when you come up to the top, the upper level of the chamber, the main chamber, you notice that there seems to be a bit of a study area. The small, angular marked objects along the sides of the banister and the wall. Those are lecterns, areas of study, and they have a chair affixed to them. Well, not completely affixed, but they have a chair with them, and what looks like old ink quills and bottles that have not been used in a very, very long time.
Are there any books on them?
When you look about them, they do not seem to have any books placed upon them. If you were to open like one of the lecterns to see if there's anything within it, you find that there is a lot of parchment for reserve and additional bottles of ink in clay pots.
I'll take out one or two of the extra like clay pot inkwells
Mm-hmm.
and just hold on to those because I heard Lillian talking about the wine jar down the stairs.
Oh my god, she's gonna have like a whole collection? Jeez. Okay. I did not plan for this, by the way.
It's too late.
I mean, having
It's
open
happening.
open containers is good. I mean, I defeated an encounter with an empty bottle at one time.
Yep, yeah, you did. At the far end, from where you had come from, there is a door in front of you.
I'm not gonna go straight for the door. I'll like pick up the stuff I wanted out of this lectern, and then I want to go and look over the railing here and look down.
You see your companions hurrying up to catch up to you. One of them is drinking heavily, however, chugging away.
I'm gonna yell down the stairs for Ronier to catch, and I'm gonna toss him the ink bottles.
Okay, Ronio, you need to make a catch.
Oh,
You
fantastic.
choose a skill associated, and you must catch. If not, the consequences are dire.
Yes, thank you.
He'll be more
He'll
black
turn
than he
black.
already is.
Okay. Thank you for rolling above a 9, please. Okay. I decided since it was a matter of life and death, I was going to use survival, so I rolled a 17.
Okay, with a 17, you trade the containers. You drop the bottle of wine, but you manage to preserve your own skin.
I thought
literally.
the bottle
I
of
gave the bottle
the
to
bottle went
Gave
to
it up,
Lillian.
Lillian
All right.
already.
I was
Alright,
the one.
yeah,
I was the
Yeah.
one actually drinking heavily.
You catch the ink and all of its contents without it spilling, and you find that the ink that you had caught, kind of just remnants about the mouth of it, is actually like a gold ink.
Oh, wow. It's kind of cool. Sure. I wonder if I could find someone to use this for like a tattoo.
Nice.
There are worse things you could have under your skin, I suppose.
I mean, doesn't really work. It doesn't really work without actual ink, and the alternatives are much more temporary and a lot more painful.
Suppose it's that or us. Social influencing assassin.
See, this is the point where you would expect a wisecrack to come your way, but you get nothing.
It's like waiting for it. It's like, so that's what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna open this door.
Okay, you open the door. It is a wooden door, and it squeaks as you open it, but you reveal a corridor with 2 additional doors spaced out the length of the corridor.
I look up to look for danger in case there's more suspended black puddings.
Luckily, the ceiling is not super high. It's about 15 feet, and 5 feet of it is dedicated to swinging candle chandeliers. But they're not lit, and there's no danger.
Okay. I'll open the first door here. There's no windows or anything on these, right? It's just
No.
a wooden
It
door.
is wooden door, and when you open this wooden door, does everyone want to be caught up at this point, or are you guys still spacing yourselves evenly?
Yeah, I'm pretty caught up, I'd say.
Okay, all right. If that is the case, then Ripper opens the door to find the aromas of, similar to that of the the bathing area, there are aromas of oils and balms, as you would find yourself in what looks like to be a dormitory of sorts. There are beds evenly spaced out about the area, 5 in total that you can see. Might I also point out these are bunk beds, by the way, so it's doubled.
I always wanted one of these. I go into the top bunk.
Pradith will go ahead and sit on the bottom bunk and says, "You know, weirdly enough, so did I. Wasn't really allowed them where I grew up from, though."
I originally heard bombs, not balms.
I mean, both
They're pronounced the same, but still.
both exist.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely heard
Right.
bombs, and I'm just thinking, what?
Why?
There's a
Did
little
we
bit
just
of
walk
both.
into, like, what is this, like a Helm terrorist cell? What did we walk into here?
Exactly right.
No, they're both pronounced the same. Kind of reminds me how, like, from Dragon Age, like, you would drink a poultice, but a poultice is like a lotion. And then in Inquisition, they make fun of it. They're just like, he makes the best healing potion ever. Tastes like crap, though. That's because it's a poultice.
Okay, so Ripper jumps on top of the top bunk, right?
Top bunk.
How heavy are you?
Oh,
Very.
boy.
300
Uh,
less?
300.
It crashes.
uh,
It crumbles.
Yes.
Did I manage to make it to the bottom bunk before it did, or
You want
am I
to?
safe?
If you want to, you can.
Why not? Let's do it.
So I don't know if you guys seen the movie Step Brothers.
I haven't.
No.
There's a scene where they make a makeshift bunk bed with their own normal twin beds, and they stack on top of each other. One of them gets on top, then the other gets under, and they just get sandwiched in, like, it's a coffin, becomes a coffin, because the underside of the bed. So if you are underneath, I imagine that's what happens, and you are just entombed in between two beds. Pradith.
You don't hear like any struggling or screaming when it collapses on top of me.
It is all muffled.
Alright, he's dead.
Oh no. Well, that's how we write him out of this scene.
I look under the bed, like, expecting and then confused.
Just like lifting the bed. You just see Pradith just there, like arms to chest, eyes wide. And as he looks at you, I thought I was going to die in there.
Shakes head.
I guess it is kind of old. I will help you up.
He'll take the hand and push himself out of the death trap.
Maybe that's why I didn't want me to have one.
Perhaps you'd be on the bottom next time. I've never said that one before.
Wow. I see you. In addition, at the bottom of each of these chests, there is a footlocker attached to each of these bunks.
Are they locked?
They're not locked. If you were to check upon them,
I will check it out of curiosity.
you would find clothing articles, shoes, robes, furs, things that you might even come upon for this climate that you find yourselves in. Not a lot has survived, but some might, like a glove or two. They would be mismatched for certain, but they do exist.
Okay, so it's pretty much exclusively closed.
Yes, for the most part.
Okay. I will leave it then and open the next door.
Okay. The next door is swung open, and the smells and aromas that linger against the stone walls fills your nostrils. the aromas of cooking, for this is a kitchen. And it was a great and grand kitchen at one point. There's a large cauldron that sits against the unused fireplace over centuries of time. But you can still see that whatever charred or kicked up material upon the bottoms of this iron cauldron still remain. And if you dig deep enough past the crust, you might find a nugget of nourishment.
I think I'm good. I had some goblin earlier.
Okay. And there's also cabinets filled with containers and also dining ware. Cups, chalices, goblets, those sort of things. Utensils.
I'll have a look in the cabinets and just see what's in there and see if anything actually survived.
Nothing but mold lies here. You can see very clearly what might have been tomatoes at one point, but it's just the dried, shriveled remnants of like mummified tomatoes.
Mummified tomatoes.
Yeah.
But where's Larry?
This room expands into an archway that leads into a very, very clear and obvious dining hall. Plates and table. The table is filled with plates and utensils that have been long left here.
Do they seem to have been like used and then like not washed before they left, or is it just like place settings?
Yes, at one point, food has been placed and eaten here, but they had not been finished, nor had they been cleared. So they are dyed and stained with old remnants of food as soil replaces their contents.
So whoever was here just got up and left then.
Yes. On the far side, the wall is smashed, probably just from natural wear over time as the mortar gave out, but it's crumbled on the north side. There's also...
I want to go in and pick up a salad fork and start tossing it and catching it.
Tossing salad fork. All right.
I'm gonna go through the other door that's over here then.
Okay. So Ronia, you break off into by yourself. Does anyone want to go, Ronia, or is it just something you slink away without anyone notice?
Yeah, I'll turn around, and if anyone visibly wants to follow me, they can.
Okay.
I'm with the Ripper.
All right. Anissa?
I guess.
Okay. Lillian will follow behind Nisa as well. So let's have that going on. Ripper counts as 2 people, so it's even.
He eats as much as 2 people.
I have the hit points for 2 people.
We also have Bishop.
Fine.
Bishop counts as a person.
Oh yeah,
No,
Bishop's
Ripper-
with him.
Ripper ascends. He's worth more than anything. He's a minor deity.
Yes.
When you open the room, you find that you're filled in a room filled with shelves and shelves of books, evenly distributed. There are a few piles here and there in the corners of this, what looks like a library, but there isn't any presence immediately, at least.
There's Lillian, I found the room for you.
What is it?
The library. As he goes ahead and he opens the door and lets her walk in.
Wow.
Wow.
Never. Owen Wilson, wow.
Wow.
I've never been in a religious library before. I actually find it a little bit uncomfortable.
How do you figure?
I mean, in my experience, that's just called church, and they usually only have like one book.
Probably.
Hmm.
As you might look around the library, you notice that the books are pretty much all of the same for the most part. They are of one series, but in numbers and numbers of volumes. They are the preachings of Helm. I am not interested anymore. Like, I respect the I respect
no, we
the
still should at
gods,
least look around. Maybe they.
but that's just not for me. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. Even still, we might be able to find maybe a secret to how to open up that to what comes after the first gong hit somewhere in the books.
I suspect it would be somewhere around here.
More importantly, are we just going to gloss over the fact that Lillian is agnostic?
It's not agnostic. I mean, she didn't believe they existed. Just that like religion is boring.
Agnostic is basically the religious version of you do you.
Yeah.
Ripper and Pradith, do you peruse the dining hall or do you enter the door in front of you?
I would like to collect a full set of silverware and start juggling.
I'll go ahead and open the door while this is happening.
Okay.
One of
So
us
I'm
needs
gonna-
to be doing work.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Pradith first. As you open the door, you are hit with the aromas of herbs, medicine, and the like.
Oh, God. Kind of swipes his hand in front of his face at the strong aroma of these herbs and goes, "Poof! This place smells a lot for a place that's been abandoned for a long time."
You see
What?
that. Go ahead.
Oh, just agreement noise.
You see that this room is a herbalist's room. You see mortars and pestles, braziers, small braziers, calcinators and such, and you see shelves lined with draughts and medicinal drinks along the shelves of cabinets. And you can even see that there might be some plants that have managed to grow once more by themselves.
Huh. Nice. I'll go ahead and peruse the shelves and whatnot, see if there might be like an ointment or like a potion or a salve that we could use.
Make a medicine check when you do so. And while that's happening, Ripper, as you're gathering things, you gather saucers, plates, soup bowls, chalices, knives, cutlery, and such. And then you grab something into your juggling, actions, and that something does not belong here. One of these objects is not like the other. You throw into your act a book.
Wait. Start putting things down. And I now have like a full table set in front of me, set perfectly. All the forks and spoons are in the right spots. There is no napkin though; those did not survive.
No, did not.
But I have a book. I want to open the book.
The book, you did not realize, but it was already open at the time when you had picked up the book. But the open pages that had been parted, they have long since dissolved the writing. For this book, its contents was written in charcoal. But when you flip around the book, it seems to be the documentation of probably a monk that had lived here. You kind of flip through it, taking a few minutes to do so. But one part resonates to you, and it's something that you're looking for. It's essentially a passage written by this monk of how to remember, how can I remember the sequence of the gong? And he describes, they're going to kill me if I don't remember this. I need to come up with a pattern. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Question mark.
Outside, inside, outside, inside.
It's written as inside, outside, inside, outside.
Maybe the rings on the gong.
Well, the one does match up. The first one matches up with what we know.
Inside, outside. Inside, outside.
Oh, and I rolled a 10 on my medicine check, by the way.
Okay. A lot of the draughts are just herbal elixirs. Probably nothing that would recover you, but would just bolster, your continual existence if you so wished.
Oh, look, this will be great for my immune system.
Yes, exactly. But you do actually manage to find 2 potions, 2 healing draughts, again in similar clay bottles, but significantly smaller. It seems clay was very big here, and these are common healing potions, 2 of them that in your possession.
Common healing potions, thank you. Okie dokie. Yeah. Takes those 2 healing potions, reaches over to another shelf, downs, probably like a calcium pill, for his osteoporosis.
I didn't know about that for sure.
Oh, this will help with my arthritis.
I'm gonna wander in with my book, and I will point and show the passage to Isaac's character.
Right off.
Praedith looks down. Interesting. Perhaps it'll come in handy for figuring out what to do with that gong. Here, while I'm at it, you might have more use of it than I will, considering the punishment you seem to go through. And he will hand over the 2 common healing potions to Ripper.
Ripper will thank you, and then put them away. These are just common healing potions.
Yes, but they also they also leave like behind the cool clay containers.
Alright, let me write that down.
It's not about the ancient potions and wine. It's about the containers.
Storage simulator.
Yes.
Lillian's behind us, like calculating the exact volume of this container to figure out
It's
what she
super
can hold in
easy
it.
because everything's a base 10.
Oh my god.
Aspia is like the only city-state that accepts it. Valencia's like, nah.
Freedom units.
Right.
Soon, one day. One day.
One day.
Okay, so this library didn't really have much going on because it seems rather dull in subject matter.
Are you doing... So, those of you in the library, though, like, Lillian's obviously not interested. She's like, just walks away. But Nisa and Ronia, what are you guys doing within the library?
I mean, Ronier's still looking around for books or more notes, maybe something a little bit more specific about inside, outside.
Okay, so I would take that as you are like shuffling through the books and taking a look at it. Would the same be said of you, Nisa?
I mean, are there books that were like already sitting out open, or are they all neatly shelved?
Most of them are neatly shelved, but you do find a few texts, and this isn't anything that's too spectacular, but they do seem to have survived the passages of time, and they document sort of small insights about meditative ways, herbalism, longevity, such things. And what would you be fascinated in, if anything at all, amongst these texts?
When it says longevity, what it means, just like living slightly longer, or is this something more hardcore than that?
Well, if that's what you're interested in, it says, and if you want to give a intelligence check.
Oh god.
It's okay, you got this.
I don't know. I'm kind of there with Ripper on the intelligence score. Let's see.
Ripper's got a +1.
Exactly. I have a +2. I'm right there with you on the intelligence score. I got an 11.
Okay, that's pretty good. When you read the documents presented, is that the monks of the Strand have sort of noted and documented, or at least this is rumored and theorized, the possibility of increased longevity, but at a cost of practicality. Rather than being able to, just create perhaps a magical item or an elixir to bolster your expectancy. Through sheer will and devotion, it is said that a monk that practices vigorously and is truly devoted to their god of choice can undergo a meditative state that just prolongs their existence, but they are bound to their god in that state and unable to do anything, but can become one with their god.
Just kind of looking at it. It's not exactly what I was looking for.
Ronir, when you pick up a book and take it off the shelves, you flip through it. It is a holy tome, and does not spark any interest or imagination. But it's when you put it back that something happens. The book almost flies out of your hand, and you see a dark hand from the shelf pull the book back for you.
I looked down at the book that was just popped back into my hand.
No, the book went into the bookshelf.
Oh, I grab it. I grab it back then, or try to anyway.
How dare you, book?
When you try to pull the book, make a strength check. Athletics,
Oh,
if you have
great.
it.
Time to fight the bookshelf.
Yeah.
It's a mimic.
Yeah, this is not. Let's say goodbye, guys. Yeah, that's not as bad as I would have. That's not as bad, but that's still 10.
You are not able to wrestle the book from the shelf. It seems to have been pulled back onto the shelf, and it's not relinquishing its grasp, which is very odd.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the 2 books beside it, and then see if that will give me more leverage.
Like, pull. Are you?
Remove those books, and then pull that one out. Like,
Okay.
I'm thinking it's sandwiched in between, which is why I can't pull it out.
The 2 books on the sides, they come out. To just come out. They come out into your hands.
Okay.
But the one in the middle is still there. Do you pull on it?
Yes, I try again.
Okay, make another check.
Okay, that's better. 16.
All right. This time, you pull it with a lot of might, and the book flies into your face.
Oh.
It doesn't do any
Ooh,
damage,
this
but
book
it's
has attitude.
yeah. This book has attitude. It doesn't do damage, but it slaps you in the face and falls to the floor.
Oof, I rub my face again and open it up to see what I can read.
The book is completely black. The pages, which were white, which you had scanned previously, that found to be holy text, the pages are now completely black. It's not white, fully black.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
When you flip the page to check if this is true for all of them, you do. You notice that it's true, but there's some cold resonating off the pages.
I try to flip through the pages and sort of like find the source.
It
Where
is
it's
in
the
the
coldest.
entire book. Every single page
The
is
entire
black.
book. Ugh.
The rest of you. You hear books falling off the shelves in the other room, in the library, as it were.
There's a
I'm
connecting
gonna cast
door.
Dan-
Hearing the noise,
Oh,
I guess we'll go ahead and open the door.
Okay.
Ripper, if you're
Yep.
okay with that.
Yeah.
no, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on the book.
Hmm.
Because I'm thinking that if I can't see it, it must be invisible.
All right.
Alright, so I'm going to cast Fairy Fire and a violet light around me to try and illuminate this book.
All right. So Fairy Fire is like, it's a spell, and if there were a creature, they need to make a save, right? Or
Yeah, the deck
It's dex
save.
save.
all right.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a dex save too because I'm gonna be walking right into this because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Just-
ahead and make that
just for
deck
fun.
save too.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
also
man.
standing like right here.
Like, you don't want to be rave colored, guys?
I wasted a crit.
Or is it because I said the color purple?
No,
violet.
the color is fine.
I'm current.
Can
I got a 15.
you designate creatures that you don't want targeted, Ronier?
I don't
I'm
think so.
pretty
I don't
sure.
think so. No.
No, I can't.
Because we've highlighted random innocent NPCs before.
Also, I'm pretty sure. Like I remember when I was Kieran, that was a big reason why I didn't want to do Fairy Fire sometimes. I succeed though with a 23. At
All
least
right,
I'm
nice.
pretty sure I succeed.
Okay. So what is your
Hey,
DC, Ronier?
Anyone who rolls above a 14.
Okay. So
I mean, I was gonna say watch the book crit.
yeah, no. The book does not light up.
Aww. I go ahead and I dejection. I throw the book back into the
The
wall.
book doesn't light up, but does anything else in the room light up?
Nothing else. This is a 20-foot square.
24 cube.
Okay, mark the area of which you want to be lit up, and let's see if
Yeah,
there's
I'm
anything
gonna-
there.
I'm gonna set it around me, and I assume the book's about here. So, so a 20-foot cube would be centered on me.
That'd be like the entire room, essentially.
Yeah, that pretty much means it. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much that. Okay, if that is the
Thank you.
case, let's see.
Oh boy.
There are one things that are lit up.
What is lit up?
What is it?
It is the shelf in this corner that is lit up.
Ooh. What do we have here? Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and move over towards that shelf.
I go ahead and draw my sword just in case.
I want you to roll initiative.
You're gonna get glued to the fucking bookcase.
This is how
man.
Daniel loses his hand again.
Oh, shut up! I can't. Jeez, my luck is bad today.
Guys, I got double digits on initiative. I'm
Yes.
so proud.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Nisa, 15. Ripper, 12. Kratos, 10. Ronir, 5.
Goodness.
Okay. So. Nisa, what you see lit up emerges from the crevices of between books and their bindings and their covers. And it is the shape of a humanoid as it expands, but it's elongated. It's coming out of the pages of a book, and it's being elongated, and it towers over Ronir. This black figure, dark, empty silhouette,
Also neon purple.
now
Or
glowing
violet.
neon purple.
Because that doesn't make it more ominous. Maybe.
Is
Right.
not pleased that it's glowing with this light.
Well, it's also not pleased that it's, probably about to get punched in the face repeatedly. Let's see. So that's basically I can reach. I would have to move into someone's square because y'all are clusterfucking. But anyways, I will step forward. I'm not going to move my token because it's just a mess. I'm going to get stuck under somebody else. But I'll just move forward and cast Shillelagh and scythe it with reach and then with booming blade and then step back away from it. I'm going to go back over here.
Okay.
We'll see if we can hit it at all or if it's like ethereal or some shit.
It has fairy fire.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
have advantage. I gotta roll and see if I crit or something. Oh, nope, I rolled the
So
same number
you-
twice.
You're moving to attack it, and then you're trying to withdraw, right? Like with reach.
Right, yeah, with reach.
Okay.
Watch, it's gonna have reach too. 25.
25 hits.
Okay, so it's a D8. God, this damage is so bad. 7 points of slashing damage, and it is sheathed in light, so it will even more light, so it will take damage if it moves.
Okay. Does Shillelagh convey anything to your weapon?
It bypasses non-magical resistance.
Excellent. So 7 points of damage to it. This creature reels as you strike it, and as you move back to take cover and gain distance away from it, you are accosted by two hands that come out of books, and they try to slap you as you pass by them. One of them is going to be a 19, the other one is going to be a 10.
Okay.
This is Lillian's worst nightmare, like beloved library coming alive to destroy you.
So you know, Don't Starve, and you know how those like the dark shadow thingies.
Charlie's hands.
Yeah, those hands just come out of the books and they try to slap you. So 19 hits, right?
Yes.
Okay. You take 12 points of necrotic damage
Ow.
from one of the hits, the only one that lands. Your strength is reduced by 4.
Whoa.
Savage.
Not looking good.
No, it's really not looking good.
Everybody out of the room!
At that point, we'll go to Lillian, who runs to the door. What's happening? Oh my god, the books are attacking!
The books are attacking!
The books are attacking.
Um,
And I'm over here looking like one of those, like, children you see in the, like, Feed the Children commercials. Because my strength score is now, like, at... Bishop probably has more strength than I do.
Bishop has more strength.
Please,
Oh my
may I
God.
have some more?
That's the case. Let's see. I'm gonna have Lillian grapple you.
I couldn't resist if I tried. You have a higher strength than I do
She
by a
rolls
lot.
18.
I want to roll it just to see what it would be. Oh, it's actually a... It's reduced to a 1. Because it's so far negative.
Okay, she's gonna pull you into the hall with half speed and get about there. That is it for her. As it'll take their action. Ripper.
Okay, I just saw 2 shadow grabby hands happening.
Mhm.
But I also see that the glowing one is now
Standing about 8 feet tall out of a bookcase, and its upper torso is exposed.
and I saw a booming blade happen, and I know what that means. So I'm going to probably ruin anything Ronir was trying to do. I'm gonna grapple Ronir, and I'm going to like take him out of the danger zone of the glowing creature. If he will allow me to grapple and drag.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay. I'm gonna grapple Ronir and drag him. I'm gonna stop so I'm in the doorway, and I'm gonna shove him out the door.
Nice. All right. Praedyth.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and also run out the door, and I'm gonna throw an Eldritch Blast at this creature as I do so.
Okay, you have advantage. And also, Ripper, you provoke opportunity attacks. Oh, no, they used it already. Never mind.
Just better math. So 18 on the first one with advantage,
Yep, that'll do it.
and 23 on the second one with advantage.
That's good, too.
That'll deal 12 points of damage total, and I can't actually get out of the room because of this lineup, right?
You can pass
how
through
much
friendly
room do you have?
squares.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna stick it here. Cool.
Okay, yeah, you absolutely can do that. And you kill one of the shadowy creatures and explodes into ribbons before it vaporizes.
Actually, while I'm at it, one other thing. would I recognize these creatures at all? Would they be familiar to me?
I would say you would, given your history. And these creatures you would know are actually called shadows. They are dark, insidious, undead type creatures that resemble humanoid shadows. And they're essentially like ghosts, except you would know that they have a power to sap the strength out of their victims. And you
Okay.
can see that Nisa looks malnourished.
Yeah.
It-
As we're carrying Nisa out, I'll just go ahead and relay that information to the party. She's yelling, "They're called shadows! Undead that'll sap the strength out of you, but I suppose you already know that."
All right. It is the Shadow's turn. The two from the books will emerge, and these are the ones that did not, did not get hit by the fairy fire. So they're not lit up. They are not,
Visible.
yeah, they're not necessarily visible. What happens is they appear from behind you. They slither underneath you guys, and they appear behind you, one of them, and the other one is going to appear in front of Ripper. And Ripper, you are going to be attacked and accosted by one of them. 18.
That'll hit.
Okay. You take 7, 8, 9 points of damage, necrotic, and your strength is reduced by 4 as well.
Really?
Yes. Lillian is going to be attacked from the back, trying to help Nisa. And she will use a spell slot to expend Mage Armor to deflect the blow. With that, we go to Ronir.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna Dissonant Whisper is the one that's attacking Ripper. So he gets he's gonna have to take one. He's gonna have to make a Wisdom save.
Yep, fails.
Fails. Okay, then I get to roll 3d6. 5, 10, 16 points of psychic damage.
You kill it.
Awesome.
It explodes in shreds of ribbon and cold energy.
All right. I think that's gonna call it the end for me.
Nisa, weakened, barely being able to hold your scythe.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd even be able to. I mean, I guess the scythe technically doesn't use strength, but
Do it.
I mean, I guess we'll boom it
Just
again.
tell Lillian to duck.
Actually, it doesn't matter. I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
So
Anything
I
else you want to do, like a bonus action or something?
No, so I try to swing the scythe, and I don't have the strength or coordination, and like I've been dragged or whatever. So when I go to swing it, it actually like goes into. I assume there's like a railing on these stairs or something.
There's a full blown wall.
Right. So it just sort of like I don't take it high enough, and it just sort of catches the wall and just stops. So that's the end of
Okay.
my turn.
All right. Do you want to move? You can, if you like.
It's not really very far to move, and I'm kind of pinned in here.
Well, the room, the library is actually clear, supposedly,
I
for
don't.
now.
I'm just gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay, all right. With that, Lillian is SOL, face to face with the Shadow. She's gonna fire a bolt with disadvantage, firebolt with disadvantage, and miss because it's close quarters. She'll take the opportunity attack to run past everything, and that's gonna be bad. It's fine, guys. I'm killing off my own character. Okay. Luckily, the
No,
Shadow.
that means Lillian takes damage. Is she gonna shield?
No, she. Well, actually, it reset now. That's a good call, but it actually misses, so that's good. It rolled like a 3 on the die.
Okay.
So she runs past you guys, leaving some opportunity for movement. Ripper, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I don't see any other threats in this room, and I heard like fighting and shit in the hallway, so it's time to smush people out of the way.
More importantly, with this formation right now, it looks like Bishop is the tank.
Bishop is tanking. He
Bishop is
like he
tanking.
sees
Bishop is the
weakened.
tank.
Bishop is Kang.
Yeah, he sees weakened Nisa, stands up on his hind legs, and fights the shadow. As you
And then
approach,
I see Bishop in the hallway, and it is time for Ripper to protect.
as you step into the hallway,
Protect
your
Ball
shadow,
Boy.
your shadow engulfs Bishop's, and you gain advantage because he is helping.
Alright, we're going to throw a punch at this and probably not do a hell of a lot, but that's for 22 to hit.
Yes.
That's going to do a whole lot of nothing. Yep, definitely a whole lot of nothing. It's going to do 3 points of non-magical damage.
Your hand, for the most part, phases through it. It distorts it for a moment, but you definitely tell that it's not punching. It's not hard. It's not like a meat bag. Okay. Praetif.
Alrighty. I can't fire anything through this throng of people, can I?
No, it's yeah, no.
1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'd have to invoke opportunity to run through this guy, unless I just want to take the long way around.
Actually, I'll tell you a pro tip.
I can do that?
It's an adjacent diagonal.
Okay, cool.
Just barely. You can
cool.
definitely do that.
I'll
But
do
you'll
that.
be like with melee, however. But you'll be able to do
Yes.
something.
Indeed, I will be. Okay. Question.
Yes.
If I use Arms of Hadar, which is a 10-foot radius, will it still hit Ripper because he's right there?
It would, but
Okay.
Ripper would have 3/4 cover.
Okay. Well, it's not. Does that really count though? Because it's a strength saving throw.
Is it not a dex?
It's strength saving throw.
Ooh. No, it
Yeah.
would not count.
Okay, so yes, then that's probably not a great move.
No, we're good. You can do it.
But Bishop's also on your square, so.
Oh, that's true.
Do you know what the damage type of Arms of Hadar is?
Yeah.
Acid and
Yeah, you're right. That's a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's
undead.
something your character would know because this
Yeah.
is undead.
Yeah, it's undead. So that's a bad idea. Instead, what I will do is I will use my bonus action because I don't want to incur disadvantage on Eldritch Blast, even though that might be the smartest idea, but fine, it's whatever.
I mean, if you want to get meta here, it already used its opportunity this round swiping at Lillian.
That is true.
Oh yes.
Oh, shit, you're right.
There you go.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There we go. I quickly, let's say, I slip past everybody, sliding under Ripper's feet, and roll into the room before making a quick back step and firing off an Eldritch Blast at the shadow creature.
Nice.
God bless you, Beth. Thanks, Mom! So the first one will definitely hit, and the second one is 11.
11 misses.
Okay, so just the first one. 7 points of damage.
Okay, 7 points of damage. This thing is not looking good. It is a shorter and smaller shadow than it was previously. It needs sustenance, and it's looking for its next target to feed. Where it looks to Ripper, which is looking delicious, but it also thinks about going for Freydith, or the small meat underneath between your feet. So it's gonna attack Ripper. 8 to hit.
Miss.
It is not looking well, and it's having trouble focusing. It's hungering for energy and flesh, but it does not it fails to do so, and we go to Ronir.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Vicious Mockery this thing.
Okay.
Ah. Well, fade away. You're getting thinner and thinner. You look like you're about to fade away into nothing.
It rolls a 17 to save.
Yeah, that wasn't very funny either.
I was gonna say it, but yeah.
It boos at you.
Yeah, it boo.
Boo!
Nista.
Oh, right, it's my turn, isn't it? I will. Let's see. We'll try to swing at it again and not hit because that's still terrible. That's a 12.
A 12 just hits.
Okay, so it takes math. Oh my god. 6 points of magical damage effectively.
How do you end it?
Oh, the person who's like stuck to the floor somehow kills it.
Yep.
Sort of like she's basically prone. Like in those that would inspect see that it's not that she's not trying to move, it's that her strength has been reduced by so much that she's actually anchored to the floor by her own backpack.
She is encumbered.
It's just like Skyrim. It's like that Skyrim comic where he picks a flower and then just that's exactly it. And she's like just sort of like reels the scythe back, like blade out, so it's like that blunt end like passes by Ronir, and she just kind of, it's not a very forceful swing because she doesn't have a lot of force to work with, but when it connects you can see that the scythe actually makes like a physical connection with this thing, whereas say, Ripper couldn't, and sort of tears through, like if this thing had a shoulder effectively, like tearing through the shoulder down into the torso of it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, out of initiative, sapped of energy, 2 of you. The creatures are gone now. They evaporate with a trail of vapor and a cold breath of air, but they are gone.
Given my knowledge of these creatures and experience with them, would I know of any way to try to regain their strength? Like, would just like resting do so, or?
Are you proficient in nature, history, arcana?
I am
Religion?
proficient in history and arcana, I believe. Not nature though.
Okay,
And
make
history.
a history or arcana check.
Let's make an arcana check. That is a 17.
The magical effects of these shadows that sap the energy, they are only temporary. You know, however, that if you are to encounter these in the future, if there's a couple of them, there are definitely most likely more, and these are probably some of the dark spirits that have been seen in the area. That if they sap all your energy at once, you are dead. You're a goner, and you are likely to rise as one of them.
All right.
But the best mode of recovery is just to take a rest and regain your energies passively.
All right, I'll let the party know about this.
A short or a long rest will suffice. Before you are sapped completely.
Yeah, I could do with a short rest.
That would be lovely.
Everyone else?
This might be the first short rest we've ever had this campaign.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Let's see.
Interesting.
I hadn't thought about that until just now. It's like, have we ever
It's
taken one?
it's the first real short rest, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've taken short rest though.
Right. You've taken short rest in lieu of long rests.
Yeah. Okay.
We have 4 hit die. Good shit.
I actually went the session without getting hit.
Really? I'm not
Yep.
doing a good job then.
The only damage I took was from myself.
Yeah, literally. I take that back. Then I take it again.
Does Ronir have like Song of Inspiration?
I do have Song of Rest. Yeah, you guys get the additional D6.
Lit.
If you wish to use that, indeed.
Yes.
I didn't need it because I got bomb healed last encounter.
Right.
Yeah, try not to get like ass whooped again. I only have one of those.
Do you guys want to continue for the remainder until the hour, or would you guys like to break off here?
I'm pretty much out of it right
I
now.
think we could break off here. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
this is a good place.
So, to conclude, for now, you have the Shrouded Mace, and you know that the gong needs to be rung 4 times in order to open some sort of door, and you have sort of a pattern by a former monk from the Journal of Inside, Outside, whatever that means.
We also have a shitload of alcohol, because
Yep.
because that's
That's
not
what's
a
important.
that's not a
Case
normal
of
thing for this
alcohol.
party at all.
3 cases of alcohol, 2 healing, and like a little buttload of clay bottles and stuff. That's what we're really here for. That's
Yeah,
really,
Lillian is all about the clay bottles.
it's so chic.
Lillian's just like, remember everyone, the 4 R's. Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna.
I was wondering what the last part was gonna be.
Oh man.
That's a good place to
Yeah.
end that. Good grief.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right, we'll be back next week.
Night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Uh...